Good evening. Adelaide's Mitsubishi plant will be shut down on Monday by an industrial dispute. The problem's been caused by a strike at Henderson Automotive, which supplies car seat frames. Its workers are seeking a guarantee that their entitlements will be safe if the firm goes broke. The Rand government will declare a national park at the Kunji Lakes in our state's northeastern corner. It'll include a mining band around the wetland. And an injury scare for Port Adelaide captain Matthew Primus after a mishap at training. The club says he should be okay for Sunday's game against the Bulldogs.
More Australians get their news from Channel 9 than from any other source.
AFL Premiership 2003, proudly brought to you by Carlton, brewed since 1864, and our telecast sponsors, the new Holden Caprice. Primus Telecom, delivering the real value of communication. Mitre 10's 10 out of 10 DIY deals to the rescue. Sky City Adelaide, the place to see footy on the big screen. Amy, lucky you're with Amy. Radio Rental, South Australia's biggest electrical retailer. And Carlton Draft, draft beer at its best.
When a legend needed a fresh start, they took him in. And while the union of Wayne Carey and Adelaide has produced flashes of brilliance,
4 for the evening.
This week, more than ever, the Crows need the king to fire.
Carey, the opportunist again.
While a win at home could deliver top spot on the ladder, another champion will be aiming at a place in the 8 for his side.
That is goal number 8 for number 18.
Tonight, the September ambitions of two sides collide in the city of churches. The Crows and the Bombers from Adelaide's Amy Stadium. This is Nine's Friday Night Football.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome this cold, wet Friday night football. AFL on 9 to Amy Stadium, where the pride of South Australia, the Adelaide Crows, go up against the Essendon Bombers tonight. As Gary Lyon joins me, it's going to be a fantastic game of football. One the Bombers must win, Gary. Wet conditions and, unfortunately, one of their prime movers, a late omission from the side.
Yeah, big news. Jason Johnson is out of this Essendon side, and if you wanted to tailor-make some conditions for that fella, it would have been tonight. Ball on the ground a lot. It needs some tough, hard bodies in the middle. And unfortunately, he'll be out. Joe Watson also out of the selected lineup. The two players that come in, Forster Knight and Paul Barnard. So a little bit of strength and experience, but gee, they'll miss Jason Johnson.
Yes, there's the Bombers run onto Amy Stadium. It hasn't been a happy hunting ground. They've won just 2 of 8 games since 1991 against the Adelaide Crows at this stadium. Here's the Adelaide Crows, and by direct contrast, they have won 14 of 19 games the past 2 seasons. This has been a very happy hunting ground for them, Amy Stadium.
Very comfortable here, the Crows, as you'd expect, and there's a couple of players in this side who are going to have to play pivotal roles tonight. And Gary Ayres becomes an important man as well.
He certainly does, and he's right there. Gary, thanks for just chopping yourself off, because he's with Tony Jones now.
Good on you. Thanks very much, fellas. Well, Gary, you've turned it on. It's a cold all night. I suppose any score's a good score in these conditions.
Oh, well, it's a little bit different to playing at Telstra Dome, but look, this is just the weather. It's got to be the same for both sides. So I think the goals that get scored tonight, you're going to have to place a real premium on them, I think.
Who's going to be doing the goals for you, Gary? Much has been made about the fact you've been knocked around in the forward line, and it's all going to fall on Carey's shoulders. You've got Welsh up there too, though, have you?
Oh, yeah, well, Scotty will play there, and obviously you've got other guys like Burns. You can throw Burton up there. You've got Laddams up there as well. You've got McLeod, you've got Rashudo. So I think on a night like that, it might be reasonably effective for a reasonably mobile, medium-sized forward line.
Just a quick one. Nathan Bassett, 100 games. I guess if his 100's anything like his 99, you'd be happy. Will he get the job on Lloyd?
No, he won't.
Nigel Smart?
Possibly.
Good on you, Gary.
Good on you, Tony. Narrowing it down bit by bit there. But as Gary said, they might not have a great forward line as far as height's concerned, but they may not need it tonight. There's going to be a lot of time with the ball on the deck.
Could very well have fallen into their hands tonight. Bassett's been very good. Played one of his better games last week against Richmond. Nigel Smart, we suspect he might have the job after the super sleuth Tony Jones got it out of Gary Ayres. McGregor has been solid as well in the back half. He's just been able to hold them up and give them a fair bit of direction. Pretty experienced centre line. I've really enjoyed watching Brett Burton over the past 2 weeks playing the wing. He's got great athleticism. We'll have a good look at him shortly. Stingline usually gets a job. And as you said, Eddie, Wayne Carey now becomes the one real tall player in this forward line, and with the rain falling and expected to continue to fall throughout the course of the night, the likes of Laddams and Burns become super important. Scotty Welsh just might be the right size in there. And obviously McLeod and Bickley can become pretty important in the middle of the ground along with Rick Bickley.
They certainly do, and they've got a reasonable bench as well with Clark, who's been one of the informed ruckmen, Bode, who's a good sharpshooter up forward as well and good around the ground, and Shirley and Tawney, who can all come on at any stage and play at both ends of the ground. This bloke has been sensational, Gary. Look at those stats, around 13 to 15, averaging 27 disposals. Last week he had 18, 7 marks and 2 goals.
Missed between rounds 3 and 10, so he took a game or two to find his form, but gee, he was sensational a couple of weeks ago against Carlton. This side looks so much better with Dustin Fletcher holding up the goal square. He's been back a couple of weeks now and really starting to get his timing and touch. He's running from the defensive half, which is great to see. McPhee's a great pickup. Young Welsh, possibly his best game for the Bombers. Put James Hird in the middle because we don't know whether he's going to go back or forward, Eddie. So wherever he plays, he's going to be a nightmare for the opposition. Lucas is a consistent player now. He's probably underrated in lots of quarters. Barnard can go forward. Matthew Lloyd was sensational. Cupido adds the class and polish that's down there. Unexpected. He needs a big night tonight. Hill's much improved. Peveril gets a job. And Mark Johnson has to shoulder some load. Absence of Jason, his namesake.
Exactly. As you said, Jason Johnson out of the side, but it's not a bad-looking Essendon lineup. Richards played his best game for the club last week. Bolton in his 50th match. Reynolds and Bullen make up the interchange bench for the Essendon side. There is the man, James Hird. He has been a 4-time All-Australian, 3-time Best and Fairest Brownlow medalist and 2-time Premiership player, and he's been playing at his very best in recent times.
I think Tyson Stingline will play next to James Hird wherever he goes. He was best on ground 2 weeks ago at half-back. He killed him at half-forward, but when he pushes back, he just sets up so much play. He gives the opposition player, his teammates, the confidence to run. As soon as Fletcher and Wellman and Johnson, and you'll see Peveril join in a minute, they all knew Hird was going to win the footy, and they just took off into space. And this is another example of Dustin Fletcher getting some confidence back when you see him running down the ground like this. So all good signs for the Bombers.
Oh, for that roof at Telstra Dome, because have a look at this. Somebody's turned the hoses on. It is pouring. Wayne Carey will be the player cam tonight. We might need Michael Klim to be down on him, I reckon, the way things are going. I don't know why he's throwing the old grass in the air there, Matthew Lloyd, who's been in fantastic form, because he needs flippers, not the pair of boots tonight. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll be going into the arc 2 by 2. Looking forward to it, though. It's going to be a beauty as Adelaide take on the Bombers. This is Friday Night Football, AFL on 9.
CSI Miami and Without a Trace are America's most watched new dramas.
So you've got to ask yourself the question, do I want the best? The mind that brought you CSI.
It could mean everything.
Brings you 2 new smash hits, and that's not hype.
It's a fact.
I don't know what the Latin name for this is.
Anthony LaPaglia, David Caruso.
The clock's ticking. Let's get out there.
CSI Miami and Without a Trace, Wednesday, July 23 on 9.
When did you last stop and think about your comprehensive car insurance? Does yours compare with Amy? Amy offers you the security of an agreed value for your car. And we reinstate your rating 1 for life if you've held it for the last 3 years and your insurer takes it away. Amy even offers a free skilled driver's course for your children under 25 if you're insured with us. You can expect more from Amy. Switch now.
Lucky you're with Amy. Adelaide's 2 big teams are bringing you one big offer. Yes, right now at Radio Rentals and HomeCo, you can bring it home interest-free. Save on TVs, DVDs and computers and pay no interest till 2006. Save on dining settings, lounges and recliners and pay no interest until 2006. Save on washes and fridges and pay no interest till 2006. Save on beds and bedding and pay no interest until 2006. But only at Radio Rentals and HomeCo. Now that's twice as big.
Where's the home for bargains? Where's the home for great prices? Where's the home to go so? Or a toolbox full of surprises?
Where?
Home hardware. There's stacks of store-wide savings at our Stocktake Dog-a-Log sale. This Martech fan heater is just $18.95, and these head shears or loppers just $9.95 each. The Stocktake Dog-a-Log sale. Yeah. Home hardware.
This could be you picking up the $65,000 Ultimate Whitley Family Sports Fishing Package from Yamaha Pitmans Marine. Drop your entry form in at the Adelaide Boat Show, check the advertiser for details, and you could be a winner.
Trying to ignore muscular pain? Get moving again with Voltaren. Clinically shown to relieve sprains, strains, aches and pains.
It's amazing what respect you get when you've got 3 Carlton drafts in your hand. Not surprising, really. Lovely stuff. As fresh as a beer can get. Watch this. A lot of people wonder how Moses parted the Red Sea. It's 3 Carlton drafts. Nothing to do with his staff. Had that under his arm. Forgot the nuts.
Brewery Fresh Carlton Draft. Draft beer at its best.
Welcome back to Amy Stadium. Oh, what a feeling. As the Channel 9 cameraman braved the elements to bring you the best pictures in football. Just sit back on Friday night football and relax. Let's go down to Tony Jones, who's earning his money tonight, Tony.
Yes, thanks, Eddie. Well, I've checked the radar. We are expecting a bit of rain at some stage, but no, the radar says that actually it'll be on and off for most of the night, but it's certainly on at the moment. And as for the wind, that is blowing directly across the ground. It's not favouring any goal dog.
Hopefully the wind won't affect. Jason Johnson, a back spasm Wednesday night, Ed, couldn't get up yesterday, so he's had to pull out. Paul Barnard's come in for him.
OK, then, thanks very much, boys. The umpires will be throwing the ball up throughout the course of the evening. Special hello to Dermot Brereton, and the man to call the action is Dennis Cometti.
Thanks, Ed. Away we go. Fletcher's got Carey. Opening bounce. Socket forward by Beckley. Down towards half forward. Peveril slides in. We'll see plenty of that tonight. Welsh had it. In goes Solomon. Peveril hurriedly onto the boot. Out towards right half back. McLeod missed it. Loose ball. Rashido approaches. Socket off the deck by McGrath. Down towards half forward. Putting the body in. Beckley slaps it across to Bassett. Strong tackle brought him down. Amazing day. Dust storms earlier. Now driving rain.
Yes, some planes from Sydney to Adelaide were turned away this afternoon, Dennis, because of the dust storms.
Incredible. Biglan's knocked it down. Solomon, Peveril, busy early, down towards half forward. McPhee missed it. At the back, Burton lays it off. Edwards heads for the boundary line and/or Stenglein. Stenglein back towards Burton. Now Rashudo, met solidly. Barnard slipped it away. Solomon 55 metres out. Charged down by Bassett. Cupido, Lloyd off the ground, about 5 metres out. Lunging. Stenglein concedes a behind.
Well, it's not a night for touch. Here's Mark Bickley calling one at the first bounce there. But it's not a night for touch, and Damien Cupido is a touch player. He has to make a decision right now based on these conditions. He's just going to run hard and straight at the footy, and the skillful stuff with one hand and trying to get around bodies just won't happen.
Rashudo from fullback brings it outside the 50. Biglan's good strong mark. Pushed Hill out of the way, did it nicely. Nice and wet, of course, as we arrived in Adelaide today and walked across the tarmac. It was an interesting experience. Getting rained upon at the airport as the ball goes over the line and out of bounds.
You don't miss a chance, do you?
Good to reminisce it was. I felt like the Beatles in 1964. Carey at his first touch, he took it to the boundary line. Throw in as Biglan's. Up from behind was McPhee, the third man up. Peveril for his second soccer off the ground. Up towards the wing position. Burton got clobbered, but he got it away. Bassett in game number 100 gets the kick. Once again, Peveril, who's been the busiest man on the ground so far, went to ground, and the umpire said he got one in the back. Fourth touch Clock's coming up as Carey gives him a bit of howdy-do. And that's Carey's opponent waiting for the ball there, Fletcher. Laddams, a former Essendon player, on the mark. At defensive 50, Dustin Fletcher. Kick short. Two players come to the ball. Barnard chips it back, looking for Fletcher. The Bombers playing high possession at the moment. Don't want to turn it over. Realising that a long kick forward is going to be very, very hard to mark. So it's by inches tonight as Lucas, who's come to half-back flank, takes the mark.
They will inch it forward, Ed, but they do get into the habit of playing a very short game, Essendon, and it does dominate them.
McGrath now decides to kick long. Lloyd has made the lead. It's an ordinary kick forward. Lloyd just waited in the back. Smart got to the front and then decided to punish him even more by getting about 20 metres. Bickley got the handball away. Now the Crows have got some room to move. Massey over the top. Smart kept running. Flicks it out wider still. Here's Ronnie Burns on his left foot. Decides to go short with the handball. Over to McLeod, who can have a shot. No, he handballs off again. Crows moving it forward. Welsh back outside 50, back to Burns, and to go to 15, just said the umpire. Now Burns can go short, no one marking forward, and Rhett Biglands has got up the ground and will line up from 35 metres out.
Well, there was only one other character in motion on the ground when Biglands took that mark, and it was Big Hill, and he was roughly 80 to 100 metres behind, jogging down thinking, where's my opponent? Tell you where he is, inside 50.
Yep. A couple of good plays from James Begley in there as well, linking up on a couple of occasions.
Wasn't if it was a quick play either.
No.
Given plenty of time. They fiddled around with it, Adelaide.
Biglands, 4 goals for the season so far. No kick is easy, but that's a good one. Steers it through.
With rear DVD screens, V8 power, and Holden's finest engineering. Caprice. Holden Caprice.
It's the early going Friday night football. Crows lead it by 5. Hill directs it down to Solomon. Across the body. Swings it out very wide. Pitches in no man's land, as you can see, and runs on towards the boundary and gets there.
No man's land. That's anywhere between the two 50s, Dennis.
Pretty much.
Second year running Adelaide, the #1 hardball get side in the competition. Now that may become very significant tonight as the night wears on.
And they're brilliant at clearances from boundary line throw-ins, Gary.
Throwing out his side, Wellman. Was he holding it? The umpire thought about it, realised, yes, he was. Always takes a little reaction time.
See, when he got hold of it, Dennis, there was about 4 of them swarmed onto him straight away. Very physical at the throw-ins.
Rashudo drives it towards Carey. Fletcher knocked it down. Welsh gets a hand pass away. McGrath under pressure, kicks beyond the wing. Rashudo missed it. Spills wide. Hill off the ground, gains about 10 metres, but gave it away. Rashudo got back quickly, kicks it around the outer side. Mark Johnson looking for the free in front, the spot to be close to the boundary line. Eventually, mercifully, it goes out of bounds.
That's nearly a tactic there, wouldn't it be? Don't let anyone go up for the ruck. Give some bloke the false impression that he's on his own, let him grab it and then pounce on it.
We saw Andrew McKay last week where the ball almost hit the ground and he just grabbed it and the free kick was given away. There's a little bit of work to be done on that rule, no doubt about it.
Stoppages will suit Adelaide. Centre bounces, Essendon have their hold the cards at getting underneath and winning it away, but boundary line throw-ins and bounce downs, Adelaide.
Umpires tonight are James, McLaren and McInerney as the Crows go inside 50 again. The punch from behind was from Jacobs. Front and square, though, was Ronnie Burns. He got it around towards Welsh, close on the boundary line. He sets it up to the front of the square, which was good play. John Cott's being held. And John Cott will take the free kick. McVeigh not happy, reckons he caught one in the mush.
Just got in front on, wrapped him up.
McVeigh complaining that he gets done every time.
Watch him. You must watch the football. Okay?
Yeah, right. He's asked for the replay, and he's right.
There, John.
He copped one in the mush.
He did. What did him was he had his eyes away from the incoming ball. It's the first thing the umpire sees.
Graham Johncock lining up for the Crows second. They lead by 5 points. This to make it 11 from 20 metres out, pretty much directly in front, and Johncock has messed it up. So a bit of justice. I'd like to have the microphone on McVeigh right now.
Got to take your chances on a night like this.
Thanks, Moxie. Costly miss.
Yep, the breeze not a factor. Going across the ground, freshening. Fletcher goes for distance, well outside the 50. In from the side, Bigland spilt it. Solomon at the base of all of that tries to dig it out. Begley taken down. Mark Johnson keeps it in front. Burton took a while. Was he holding the ball? Doesn't matter. Peverill has it again. His 5th possession. A long one too. Well inside the 50. Smart did well. Will get the free kick. Now it's going the other way. Well, like McVeigh, I would like to see that again.
He's paid it for too high initially. That is a bad decision. That's a waltz. That's a tango.
That's play on.
Well, Smart eyes for the football. Harshly done by.
Lloyd's almost tunnelled his way in under his arm.
And the difference is that Matthew Lloyd, well, you'd almost put your house on the fact that he'll convert, whereas Johncock missed.
Gee, I'm back against you, Gary. You've given away houses 4 times in the last 2 weeks.
Dennis is the professional stand on the mark.
That's right. Put me there. Put me there.
80% efficiency at goal this year so far. Den 51-13.
Best effort against the Crows. 7 round 19 of 66. As we said, nothing easy, but that's good. Sneaks it in.
Fantastic. He'll call him now. Sophie, I've got the winner of the competition. There's his number. Oh, he's cute. Oh, it's engaged.
Don't miss important calls when you're on the internet. Be online and use your phone at the same time. For frustration-free internet, join iPrimus Broadband.
Back into the centre. We'll have a look at that free kick again in a few moments' time because it was an ordinary one. In these conditions, the umpire have to make their mind up if they're going to play the Tiggy Touchwoods or let it just go hard at it all night. Here's a chance now for Welsh. He's going to go hard at it, straight out of the centre, and the Crows react perfectly. Get their second, and they lead by a goal.
That's a rarity, Ed. Very rarely do Adelaide clear the ball straight out of the centre and kick a goal straight up on the one play, but it's all due here to Ronnie Burns. He just ambled out of the goal square. Then when he saw the ball gets cleared, he puts a charge on it, and for Ronnie Burns, well done, Johncock too. Ronnie Burns gives a great little handball here, just to his right, and Welch just has the pace to get away.
With 2 key plays in that, Johncock been able to get off the square first and be clean. There's a free kick at the other end of the ground that shouldn't have ever been. Back to this play was Johncock's clean hands and then Burns' quick give.
And a good centre break from Begley.
Crows by 6 points. Biglands knocks it down. James Hurd hurriedly gained about 15 metres. Burton over the footy. Gets out of trouble. Feeds it back to Bickley. Bickley sends play towards half forward. That tells you something. Hurd missed it. Carey didn't. McLeod well inside the 50, set up for Welsh, knocked away down there by Jacobs with desperation. Jacobs went again. Welsh outside the 50, forced off the kick though. Fletcher the fumble. McLeod soccers goalward. Johncock leads back in the race, works the angle. Missed. Not off to Liverpool anytime soon.
A lot of space in the Adelaide forward line. Carey prepared to push up the ground, leave a lot of space behind them, which again, slippery ball, greasy ball, is a good move. Runs on, gives a chance for Johncock and Burns to run onto the footy.
But Fletcher from full-back brings the ball out to the members' side. Wellman gets to the front and got a shove right in the back and will take the free kick. Well, Sean Wellman knows his way around Amy Stadium. Kicks. The centre in. Hurd and Solomon, but it was Hart who got the thump on the ball over the line and out of bounds. Centre wing on the members' side. Adelaide by 7 points.
Going the footy.
Biglands again gets the tap. Solomon picks it up. Kick was smothered by Bickley. Beautiful smother too. Peverill flicked it out. Chance for Solomon again, running the wrong way though. McVeigh overran the ball. Rashudo just hoiked it off the ground, close to the boundary line. Well, Forster went without it. Ladham's now got it over the top. A chance opens up for Ronnie Burns. Burns is tackled with the ball, knocks it forward, just got it away. Now McVeigh for the Bombers. Kicks it to centre wing. Inside it comes. Lucas needs to pick it up. He fumbles. Now he's under pressure. Now he's gone. Got the handball out just in time. Knocked up by Hill. Picked up by Ramanauskas. Out towards Lloyd. He's going to have to beat two. Crunches it. Did it beautifully down to McGrath, but he was pickpocketed. Oh, look at that. World Wrestling Federation at its best. And the free kick goes to Stingline. After Mr. Sunbury nearly pulled his head off.
That's the way to give him away, though. If you just feel you're about to slip a little high, you may as well get some value for money.
Last week it was Scarlett doing the wrestling moves. Now it's Mark Johnson.
Stingline out of defence then. Awkward one for Fletcher. Controls it twice. Sock it off the ground. Rashudo taking no prisoners. Kicking in danger, says the umpire.
It's going to be about the third for the year of all games.
Yes.
Kicking in danger.
Well, they're laying down the ground rules.
If that hasn't happened 500 times this year, I'm not here.
Peveril knows all about that situation. Swings it very wide. McPhee missed it. Closing is Beckley. McPhee sockers and bounces it out of bounds. Let's go down to Tony Jones enjoying the night.
Yes, and very much enjoying having a look at Wayne Carey tonight. He's got that real air of arrogance about him again after a few good games under his belt. He's directing traffic, just roughing a few opponents up. I think he might be back.
A soggy air of arrogance. Tossed it on the outer side. Falls behind McLeod. Smothered off the boot. Hart trying to pick it up. Peveril burrowing in. And the umpire wants it. Umpire James. Bit of banter. Eventually, down goes Ramanauskas. And he gets the free kick. And wastes no time, plays on, kicks it down towards half forward. McGrath has to wait. Coming back was Bassett. Ball runs on. Lloyd slipped over. McGregor to Smart. Feeds it back towards the pocket. Rashudo's been prominent, close to the boundary line. Beckley swings it very wide into the path of Beckley. Will it stay in? Beckley, quick hands away. Stengline, no room. In comes Solomon out of bounds on the ball.
So a free kick to Tyson Stengline, who's been pretty good in this opening term with 4 disposals already. Squares it up to his skipper and Rashudo.
Thank you.
6 touch coming up for the Roo. A boy from Waikery. Has the ball on half-back flank. Kicks it up to the half-forward flank position now. From behind, Fletcher decided just to fall off the back of the pack. Welsh kicks towards the wing position. Stengline goes up, couldn't hold the greasy ball. Bit of Timmy Watson in his prime there from Lucas, except he turned it over. McLeod slaps it on the boot up towards full forward. Plenty of numbers here for the Bombers. Jacobs couldn't hold the mark though. Carey flicks it out. There's a chance for Ronnie Burns. Finds a bit of space. Back onto his left foot. He has a blind shot on the goal. He's put it through. Ronnie Burns.
When did you last stop and think about your car insurance? Does yours compare with Amy? Don't just renew your current policy. Compare it with Amy's great deals first.
Lucky you're with Amy.
If your place needs rescuing, get down a Mitre 10. Plus, while you're there, rescue your wallet with any of our 10 out of 10 DIY deals. All that adds up to 10 out of 10.
We can't beat 10 out of 10.
Mitre 10. Catalogue out now.
What a wonderful goal. Watch it again. In desperate trouble. And somehow conjures a goal.
Always one of the left foot.
Yes, yeah, there's a celebration. Lobby on it.
Rucks go at it. Adelaide with a handy lead now. Out of the middle, Beckley down towards half forward. Trying to knock it forward, McLeod. Peveril's there. John Cock wanting a free. He's going to get one. Well, McVeigh thinking he's been, I think, penalised unfairly a couple of times now. Kicked down towards the pocket. It bounces about 10 metres out. Welsh goes to ground. Crowd want a free, so does Welsh. Nothing doing.
Free kick count. Adelaide have received 3. Essendon 5.
Interesting. Ben Hart is the player who's going to go with James Herb. It would appear all over the ground.
Oh, Fletcher looked up and realised all it was Crow. And Johnson has put Burton to the ground.
That's kick.
Now Carey kicked it up to Rashudo, but it's going to come back. Well, is that within 5 metres of the ball, boys?
Well, he's probably assumed he was going to have it, Ed.
Oh, he's dropped the mark.
for half a second, though.
Yeah, but if you drop a chest mark, you cop your whack, don't you?
Fair call.
Burton goes forward, got the free kick anyway. Here's McLeod. McLeod gets it out to Rashudo, can't bend it back. He's just thumped it up over the line and out of bounds on the full, and Ramanauskas will take the free kick for the Bombers. That was within 5 metres of the ball, and it was his mistake, so... hard one to adjudicate.
Did he pay head high?
Maybe got him a little bit high with the shoulder, but...
Jumped off the ground too, didn't help him.
Yeah.
Mark, this is a dangerous setup. Adelaide are looking far more dangerous. They're banging in not too much signs for getting some really good crumbs. Look at the other end of the ground. They just haven't been able to get it in deep enough and get that crumbing situation.
The wind, by the way, is blowing straight across the ground to where James Hurd has just kicked that ball. It might float out of bounds here, and it does, but it is a very strong wind. It was going to right of screen before the match, but it has swung around, and it is really not favouring either side. The windsock straight across from the commentary box is going right across the ground, so no advantage, and this is the dead pocket or the dead side of the ground that we're playing at the moment.
Matthew Bode, we saw him waiting to come on. You get the feeling he'll be a handy player in these conditions as well. So too Solomon tries to dig it out over the football sting line, taken down. Still a live ball. It comes back to Wellman. Gets the hand pass away to a voice. Eventually Hill helps it on its way to the man who was calling, Lucas. Kicks inside the 50. That could have almost been a free. McPhee was in front, didn't get it. Cupido got it out. Hacked out of defence now by Massey towards the boundary. John Cock leads in the race. He's slowing down. McVeigh arriving quickly. All to no avail. Another throw in.
Even though it's wet, Gary, we see this. That's almost there for a free kick. Even though it's wet, Adelaide still running past to receive the handball. 21 handballs to 11 so far. So when they're moving forward, at least they're on the move and in space.
Biglands did well. Rashudo stopped it effectively. Draws a crowd immediately, and the umpire penalises him for holding it. Well, they need to be consistent. As we said earlier, laying down the ground rules early. This is Hurd inside the 50, coming across on the angle. Lloyd, valiant attempt to complete the mark. Terrific effort. Begley, though, the beneficiary, got the crumb. Hart couldn't handle it. Some big names, some fine players finding this greasy ball hard to deal with. Lloyd almost.
Edwards on Cupido is an interesting call from Gary Ayres.
16th stoppage in 19 minutes of play. Get used to it.
Suits Adelaide.
Biglands has done very well. He tried to grab it out of the ruck and was probably lucky that it slipped through his hands there. We'll have another bounce. 17th stoppage. So coming up to 7 minutes left in this quarter. Peveril again, head over the ball. Head on the ball, and he stopped it with his snout as Barnard kicks it forward. Here's a chance now for Cupido. Does it beautifully, gets it out to Lloyd. Lloyd flicks it out the back. That's in the back. No, it's not in the back according to the umpire. Look it from here. Massey.
Gives the ball, gives the ball.
Looked very much like it in the back. Umpire quickly throws it up. Here's a chance now for James Hurd. Picks it up, as you can see, just inside the 50. Kicks to the square. The front of the square is a good kick, but Bassett read it the best and marks and handballs to Rashudo.
Rashudo.
Whoops.
As we saw running hot, that's lukewarm though. Straight to Lloyd, lines up, fires it back over Rashudo's head for a behind.
That's another example. The kick from Hurd to the top of the square. Granted, it could have been given a bit more height. They can't allow Adelaide to be marking uncontested. They've got to get an ugly crumb and try and create a goal from that.
Edwards close to the boundary line. This is Hart. Looping hand pass close to the boundary still. McLeod, though, with some time and space, bangs it around the outer side high. McGregor went up, looked at Mark Carey. It wasn't paid. Begley's been handy, kicks it down towards half forward. Well done by Lucas. Knocked it up to his own advantage. Went and found it again. Centres it. Too tall for Hurd. This could be dangerous. Coming back is Johnson. Did well. No Jason Johnson tonight. This is Mark Johnson. Torpedoes one down towards half forward. Lloyd in front. Bassett, who played so well last week. Begley, Rashudo. Solomon should have tackled. Rashudo comes away. Hart man to knock down. Hart's got it on the wing and breaking. Looks down inside the 50. Burns is coming out, number 2 on 1. Well played, Ramanauskas. Knocks it across the boundary line. There's a pulling down there.
Beautiful play by Rashudo here. He just caught in two minds there, Sully, whether to tackle or bump. Thought he had him blindsided. You already saw it again. the handball usage of Adelaide to get into space, and now they find themselves 100 metres further down.
Solly thought he was going to knock him in the next week and met his match.
Barnard off and Richards on for the Bombers. Ludham's over the top, but it's picked up by Hurd, who kicks it up towards the wing position. This is Richards straight on the ground. Got half a touch on it, nearly took the mark. At the back, Solomon grabbed by McLeod, and we'll have yet another bounce. Now umpire's picked out a free kick. Well, they're obviously going to go hard for the free kicks here tonight to stop the ugly packs developing. At 6 free kicks apiece, Rashudo has it at half-forward flank. He dumps it inside 50. 10th is Dermot said. Lloyd will fly here. He's gone right the way down the other end of the ground. So too Hurd. So they're all in the defensive 50 for Essendon. Ramanauskas around the body to a 2-on-1 situation. Peverill was a bit stiff. He got a kick right in the back there from McLeod. His heart, he's gone. And that's dropping the ball, and a beautiful tackle applied by McPhee. Now the advantage is called. The kick. Hill has to mark and does at the true centre-half back position to McVeigh. McVeigh goes up the ground. Now they've got some movement going, the Bombers. Wellman marks at centre-half forward. It's Lloyd versus Smart. The kick was good for Lloyd. Couldn't quite hold the mark. Now on the rebound, Richards leads the race for the ball. Bassett right behind him. He tunnel balls it back. Is that a push? No, says the umpire. Lloyd goes in hard. Smart gets it out to Edwards. Edwards gets it further afield. Picked up by Shirley. His kick was smothered by Johnson. Shirley another time over the top. Now they're starting to run. As it comes out to Sting glide from Edwards. When he dropped the ball, he didn't connect with either hand or foot. Umpire called play on. Now it's Wellman. Uses his body well and pushes his opponent away. Up towards Richards. Big punch from behind. Now it's Edwards on defensive 50 for the Crows, and he's tackled to the ground. Still in play.
Lucas got him down. Cupido jams it on the boot. It goes very high. They compete on the 50. Behind the pack, a chance for McPhee. 40 metres out. It's wandering down towards full forward. Offline, though, towards the pocket. Smart angles the punch away from Lloyd. Gets it to the boundary.
That is effective tonight. If you can get that ball out of bounds, or you can get it away from a dangerous area, the chances of them scoring diminish.
Crows by 13 points. Hooked down behind by Bolton. Hurd goes looking for Richards, who in turn slaps it wider. Welsh went to ground. Upended Lucas. Rashudo's been terrific to McLeod. McLeod runs off half-back. Penetrating kick to half-forward. Down went Laddams. Taken by Fletcher. Fletcher sends a high one back towards the Bombers. Half-forward line. But in the road is massive. Spots Bolton. Comes wide to the wing. Bolton with some space. Likes a run. Will kick down towards the attacking 50. On the lead, Welsh. Spilt the mark. Crumbs come across to Ramanauskas. The push affected the kick. Laddams delayed it beautifully. So too Burns. Bode goes into space, close to the boundary line. Welch running out of space. It's a tight commodity down there. Tries to keep it alive. It spills across the boundary line. Under 3 minutes to quarter time. And some wonderful football, one-on-one in these packed situations. Both sides working double time.
There's the ladder there. As you can see, handball receives. Now, this is the receives, not just the handballs given. Adelaide have received 31 handballs cleanly. Essendon, 11.
Clark does it beautifully. Grabbed it out of the ruck and kicked the goal. Well, that is sensational play by Big Matthew Clark.
Adelaide's 2 big teams are bringing you one big offer. Yes, right now at Radio Rentals and HomeCo, you can bring it home interest-free. Save on TVs, DVDs and computers and pay no interest till 2006. Save on dining settings, lounges and recliners and pay no interest until 2006. Save on washers and fridges and pay no interest till 2006. Save on beds and bedding and pay no interest until 2006. But only at Radio Rentals and HomeCo. Now that's twice as big.
All the action is at Sky City Adelaide this month, with over 30 grand in cash and prizes to be won.
Look at this, Big Matthew Clark from the throw-in. Bolton all at sea and slapped it on the boot and kicked a beautiful goal. They've kicked the last 3, the Crows. It's 4-3 to 1-2, 19 points with 2.5 minutes left to go on the clock as McGrath gets it out. The Bombers need to get the next goal, and soon. Here's Hurd with 2 minutes and 20 left on the clock. Peveril and McLeod having their own private war. Peveril knocks it out, picked up by the Birdman Burton. Trying to find some space. He finally did. Up and down in the one spot. Then he kicked it forward. Ronnie Burns has been fantastic. Now Ramanaskas has got the chance to run off him and pick out a teammate. The kick was almost perfect. Bounced in front of Richards. Put him under a bit of pressure. Slipped out of his hand, but Ramanaskas came to the rescue, then went without it. And got a push in the back, says the umpire will take the free kick.
You can't be scientific here, Ed. He's just got to hit the front of the square.
Gives him another chance. He made a few bad blues in, Ramanaskas, so... Yeah, he did right, Dermot. This is what Adelaide have done. They just got it in quickly. They haven't looked for a lace-out path. They've got a genuine contest, and their crummers have to do the work.
Went for the torpedo, didn't come off. No one back there for the Bombers. The bounce might be fortuitous for Essendon. Edwards ran into a knee there from Johnson. And the umpires picked out the free kick. It'll go the way of the Crows. They've called the advantage. Shirley now at defensive 50. Kicks the ball up the centre wing, and Carey put out one hand. Not good enough on that occasion. It comes to McPhee. Bombers pushing it forward, lifting in intensity. Solomon went to hand one out and has given away the free kick.
Well, Solomon and Mark Johnson have both been untidy tonight. It's all very good to be out there and throw your weight around. We love physical players, but they have been pretty untidy in giving away free kicks.
Shirley to the wing. Good mark. Being held, James Hurd. Wants to go and does. Centering kick, still inside the centre square. Picked up by Mark Johnson, smothered off the boot there by John Cock. It bounces high towards the 50. Solomon almost through. Shirley got him. Pushing the back, says the umpire.
Straight to his back.
A lot of free kicks tonight.
15 coming up 16 free kicks already. That is another season high.
9-7, Essendon's way.
Well, that's what you've got to read now. The umpires are definitely paying
in the back.
In the back when you tackle and fall forward. Got to be first hands on it.
Dean Solomon steps to the 50 and pushes it out to the right of behind.
Well, at least they're supporting first in, best dressed.
Yep.
For the ball.
There is consistency already in the first quarter with their umpiring.
And that's the way it should be on a wet night. Let's hope the umpires stick to it for the whole weekend. As the ball comes out, and the mark has been taken out there by Hart on defensive 50. He kicks up the centre wing, and the kick just bounced inside the boundary line. We have a throw in. That could be it for the quarter. Have a look at this.
Cupido comes in.
Oh,
he gave it more to his teammate.
That's ordinary.
Yeah, no need for that.
Don't hold!
That's where Blake can really get hurt.
But that's what also you notice a physical team like Adelaide won't put up with it, and three of them go to him straight off.
Hart on centre wing, umpire bounces, and that'll be it for the first quarter, which has been decisively won by the Adelaide Crows. We believe that Cupido has been reported for that incident, and we'll have a look at it again in a few moments' time. We understand that Damien Cupido was reported for what we'd guess would be unduly rough play. More on that in a few moments' time. We know Kevin Sheedy has been absolutely filthy in recent times with Essendon's Sneeko reports. Let's have a look at this one.
Rough play, right? I didn't really touch him. All right, if there's a problem, I'll look at the video and I'll withdraw it, OK? As simple as that.
There you go.
Good call.
Yep.
OK? That's what I saw.
No, he said he didn't touch him, but the umpire said, well, if there's a problem, I'll withdraw.
Did you hear Mark Johnson then?
Mark Johnson had to say.
Mark Johnson said, what the were you doing then?
Well, there you go. It's 4-3-27 to...
On 9 Sunday football, it's Brisbane and Hawthorn live at 12:30. Then the Power head east on a demolition mission. Port Adelaide, the Bulldogs live 1:30 Sunday.
If your place needs rescuing, get down a Mitre 10. Plus, while you're there, rescue your wallet with any of our 10 out of 10 DIY deals. All that adds up to 10 out of 10.
You can't beat 10 out of 10.
Mitre 10. Catalogue out now.
It's the toy sale at Kmart. Until Friday, Swan Lake Barbie $43.84 and Fur-Real Cats only $69 each. Hurry in for the lowest prices guaranteed and no deposit lay-by now for Christmas. Kmart, cutting the cost of living.
The Nissan Pulsar is famous for being only $19,990 and for being loaded up with features. Now we're giving the $19,990 Pulsar a very big feature, a 1.8-litre engine. The 1.8-litre, but not 1.6, 1.8-litre Pulsar. Now only $19,990 with air. Big engine, little price.
The Specialist Dealers Network, your friends for outdoor needs. Chainsaws, blowers, ride-on mowers, eliminate those weeds. Trim that hedge, cut that block, high pressure cleaners too. The Specialist Dealers Network, they'll show, look and they give. They're everywhere, they really care, their backup will exceed. The Specialist Dealers Network, your friends for outdoor needs.
Come into Casual Living and see our latest release of stylish bedroom furniture. Get a great deal on an orthopaedic mattress, on a therapeutic pillow top, or a pocket coil queen-size mattress, all with interest-free terms to suit. Casual Living Furniture.
Bang & Olufsen relies on HP technology to produce and distribute products that bring the world perfect sound.
It's the toy sale at Kmart. Until Friday, Swan Lake Barbie $43.84 and Fur-Real Cats only $69 each. Hurry in for the lowest prices guaranteed and no deposit lay-by now for Christmas. Kmart, cutting the cost of living.
Making a roast dinner tonight. Impress the Outlands.
Just doing the veggies. Won't be long.
I'll help. No, you won't. Bit of rosemary, garlic.
I insist.
No, I insist.
Voila.
This is delightful.
And all out of a box.
New Bird's Eye Oven Roast. Delicious roast veggies in just 30 minutes.
Sunday, there are winners and there are losers. But one person has escaped all the hard work. Until now.
What do I need these gloves for? You'll see.
The Block, 6:30 Sunday on 9.
This AFL coverage proudly brought to you by the new Holden Caprice, Mitre 10 and Sky City Adelaide.
Welcome back, and that is a sizable lead in the conditions tonight. 18 points, 3 goals to the Adelaide Crows. The lead 4-3 to 1-3. Lloyd, the only goal kicker for the Bombers. Biglands, Clark, Burns and Welsh, the goal kickers. Let's have a look at the Gary Lyon Telestrator featuring Wayne Kerridge.
I think he's only had the one possession, but this is all his job is. This is on one occasion that he failed. He's just setting himself to position here, and he wants to get the ball to the front throughout the course of the evening. There, that's where Ronnie Burns will be. On this occasion, it goes to the back and you pay the penalty.
Flat-handing it down, isn't he?
He's not trying to mark the footy. He's simply trying to get his hands on it, put it to the front, give his crummers a crack.
That's Damien Cupido. He has been reported for rough play. Let's have a look why. In he goes. And now, let's have a listen to the explanation of the umpire.
Don't slide him like that. Tight. Reporting him for rough play, all right? Slide him with those knees, OK?
There you go. And Edwards goes back to Cupido as we get set to get underway in the second term. It's the Crows by 18 points. First, Tony Jones on the boundary line.
Thanks very much, Eddie. Well, Gary Ayres' message was weather-related there. He said so important just to stay on your feet, move the ball forward as fast as you can, and more importantly, don't overuse the handball.
Thanks, Tony. Missed nothing. One bounce, another one to come. Cupido on report. Best described as needless. Knocked down there by Biglands. Hacked out of mid-air by Bickley towards half forward. Opportunity for Burns. Socked away by Fletcher. Leading the race, Peverill liked his game. Keeps it in front too. Close to the boundary line. Hurd tracks it across.
One of the best quarters Mark Rasciuto played, I reckon, for the year, that first quarter, when the footy had to be won, the conditions were tough. thought he was sensational in the opening stanza.
One of the great ones, 12 disposals in that opening term. Flicked down by Biglands. Hill tries to knock it wider. Mark Johnson kicks towards half forward. Bassett leads back in the race, slips over, now confronted with a couple of problems. Hand passed away to good effect. Massey toe poked at about 5 metres. Rashudo goes in again, dragged down. The ball finds its target, though. He pushes it across the line.
How good was that? Rashudo's first reaction was, I better socket this off the ground, gain some yardage. Boundary line's too close, and he says, no, I'll put my nose over it, and with my body, I'll suffer the punishment and take it over there.
It's built like a pirate's lunch table. Solomon goes in, diving after it. There's the big man Hill. McPhee thought he had it. Spills wide. Burton sockers it off the ground, close to the boundary line. Rashudo in the action again. Great pick-up, Solomon. Peveril, will it stay in? I doubt it. Out of bounds on the full. Bad luck.
Let go, keep coming, 2 more.
Burton has it. 20, just inside the line. And very windy, as you can see the ball taken towards that boundary line. It is blowing straight to that fence.
Good work again.
Right across the ground. Throw in. McLeod off the beak there of Rashudo. Touch number 13 for the Roo. Up to the forward 50. Good shepherding from John Cock. Allowed Carey to come out and knock it forward again to Ronnie Burns, who's just playing 2 or 3 metres in front of Carey all night. Now the kick is into the pocket. And almost the mark taken by Tawney. Forster goes in, knocks it forward. Wellman to the boundary line. Didn't get it across. Now he does. We'll have a throw in.
There's a great kick from James Beckley on the left foot there to Tawney, who under normal circumstances is expecting to mark that. Beautiful touch on his left foot.
And Beckley's been very effective tonight. 8 possessions so far for the former Saint as it's knocked forward again, this time by Hill. His opposition ruckman, though, got it down towards Hart. Taken to the ground by Solomon. Now it spills out to McGrath. McGrath on the left boot. Kicks it to centre half forward. They've got the numbers here, the Bombers. Lloyd cleaned up his own man. Cupido twisting and turning. Gets the kick onto Lloyd. It was a beautiful kick too. Now Lloyd can have a shot. From 55, he thumps it up to the square. There's a Bomber waiting there. And Richards takes a beautiful mark. Beautiful vision from Matthew Lloyd and great play from Cupido. Boy, did they need to kick the first goal of this quarter, the Bombers, and Ted Richards has got the chance to do so. It was Richards who got cleaned up in that exchange just there as Lloyd came through, but he was good enough to run to the square, didn't lie down and worry about getting cleaned up. And as you can see, backing back, and then took a strong mark.
That contest he was involved with Matty Lloyd, it was a broken arm waiting to happen.
Goal to Richards. Bombers back in it.
So the margin is 12 points. Ruxco had it again. Beckley alongside the centre circle towards half forward. Carey takes the mark, or did he? No, he flicks it out. It wasn't paid. McLeod goes long. It's wide of the mark. Working in front, Welsh. Hooking it down behind. Jacobs did well. Behind.
Hey? No.
Wasn't a mark to Carey?
Must have been
touched off the boot.
Because they did dive on him straight away. So.
Yeah.
I think there's a fair chance Fletcher will go long here.
Got much on, that's the thing.
Where will he go? Perhaps to Solomon. They come at him from all angles. Solomon spilt the mark, surrounded by Crows. Burns emerges with a footy, kicks down to the kickoff line. Welsh did well, knocked it down to his own advantage, finds it on the ground, spins around, and I think he's got the goal. He's second, has he? No. Gee, that was close. That was very close.
So dangerous, just kicking a short on an evening. I mean, you can hit somebody lace out when the ball's this wet, marking the piece of soap. He grasses it, and it's 40 metres from goal.
There's been a lot of criticism of the zone defence of the Adelaide Crows in recent times. It's a pretty good one tonight, though.
Yeah, no, they've sealed it up about 18 months ago. They used to go man-on-man every occasion. Now they mix it up a bit more often the zone, though.
They break the zone this time if Solomon can get hand the ball, and he does. He flicks it out beautifully. Richards comes out with the Shepherd. McPhee went hard at it. Bassett put his head over the ball.
Good tackle. Good tackle under the armpit.
Yep, that's what
fine.
the umpire
Thanks,
said.
Nate.
We'll have a bounce.
Cheers, mate. Nate. And go.
They've got him under the armpit. Adelaide Crows supporters not happy, but the umpire was. Hurd with a deft touch down to McPhee. The kick was just in front of Lloyd. There's a chance now for Reynolds. Goes in over the top of the ball. Lloyd applies the tackle. Reynolds as well. And we'll have a bounce 48 metres out from the Essendon goal as Massey gets up from the bottom of the pack.
Just noticed Scott Welsh had a word to the goal umpire down there. I think he thought it was a goal. Thrown up inside the 50. Crashing in was Burton. And the umpire will play a free kick to the Bombers, and I think rightly so. Burton just charged in there.
Push to Burton.
Oh, he was pushed.
He got overruled.
Yes, he did.
He got overruled by James on that occasion, because he certainly indicated it was going to be an Essendon free kick.
It was the distant umpire who paid the free to Burton, who drives it up towards the wing then. Going back, McGregor, interesting at best. Lucas across the body, floats one towards left half forward. Burton again takes the mark. He'll relieve the pressure at right half back. 11 possessions now for Burton. Just relishing this release up the ground, seeing so much of the footy in recent weeks. Kicks it hard towards the wing. Lucas, strong grab. Nothing can be taken for granted tonight. Although we haven't had much rain since the opening 10 minutes. He kicks down towards the attacking 50. Lloyd lurking behind. McGregor's got it. Met solidly by Wellman. Comes back to Wellman. Tries to bulldog his way through. Nothing doing. And we'll have a ball up.
So even that movement forward was to Lloyd on a lead. It was always going to be outside 50. No chance of getting a crumb. Just make hard work of it.
Bigland got the tap. McLeod grabbed the ball. He's thrown at the ground, and we'll have another bounce. About 55, 60 metres out from the Essendon goal. The Bombers have got the only goal for the quarter. Let's have a look at Scott Welsh. We will in a second. Next stoppage will show you what Scott Welsh said to the goal umpire. Richards almost caught one in the back. Hurd was in there as well. Here's another chance for Corey McGrath. He gets a little toe poke out. This will be close. Very close. Reynolds almost shepherded it through and then just blocked it on the line. It was very clever play.
I thought it hit the post, didn't it hit the post?
I think it hit his foot just before it went over the line. We'll get a replay of that as well.
Yeah, it did.
Have a look at this. Yeah, it hit Reynolds' foot.
Imagine
and
if
therefore it would have been a goal.
If he had grabbed it between his feet and gone over the line with him,
if
it
this
would
had
have been a
spun
goal.
back, it was a goal.
Yep, almost did.
Oof.
Missed by
that much.
Here's Rashudo driving towards the outer side. Long kick. McGregor in front. Had it knocked away by Lucas. Running out of space. Burton keeps it alive. Still in around the outer side. The high ball goes down towards the wing from Biglands. Fell in front of Carey's hand to John Cock. John Cock taken down by Ramanauskas. Socket out of there by Fletcher. Comes at right angles. Arriving quickly Wellman. Taken down in the Carey tackle. Held to him, says the umpire. And we'll have a ball up about 55 metres out. Sean Wellman, the last man up.
Let's have a look at that. Well, we're going to have a look at that Welsh goal in a moment. We'll wait for the ball to go over the line and out of bounds.
Biglands at the second attempt. Wellman been busy. Kicks it towards the outer side wing. Bassett, awkward one to control. Did it pretty well. Hurriedly onto the boot. Wide towards right half forward. Here we go, Scotty. On cue.
What do you reckon, boys?
That's there.
Ooh.
That's there. Never went on the other side of the post on the whole journey.
No.
Oh.
Got a message.
There's a chance. Johnson and Bickley went flat out at each other then. That was a great duel. Hurd got it out. The McGrath to McPhee, who just didn't have the vision as the Birdman copped him, but McPhee went in the second time, then went without it a second time. Hart back to Bickley. Now it goes up to the forward 50. Out comes Carey. Drops the mark. Gets it up. Look at that for a recovery. The King on the left boot. Kicks it to the pocket. Was a clever kick. Here's Welsh. Let's see if he can kick it this time. Has a spinning shot at the goal. This time the umpire likes it, and he gets his second.
Some crop circles have appeared overnight and scientists are now...
The new Holden Ute, a force of nature.
Got Welsh looking very dangerous tonight on that forward line. Rashudo at the base of the pack tries to dig it out. Stengline taken high and vigorously by Wellman. Stengline gets the free.
Smart running.
35 plays 16. Dangerous time this for the Bombers. Carey. He's about 60 metres out. Welsh wants it in the pocket. And the old kangaroo double. Well, it should have worked. Welsh dropped the mark and it goes out of bounds.
Like you saying a reliable kick and then they always miss them. That's the high tackle. Said Scotty Welsh's hands have been exceptional tonight. One take on everything. Next lead, he grasses it.
That's because he's thinking my hands have been very good tonight. He's become complacent. McLeod, there he is again, testing those hands. Hooks it across the body once more. Wide of the mark this time. McVeigh knocks it away from Johncock. Out of bounds in the pocket, but the forward line is functioning very well for the Crows.
Safe hands, Scotty Welsh. One take again.
And it's just simple footy. Kick it into Carey, kick it into Welsh. Get a contest, get to the crumb.
And Gary Carey's dangerous because not only is he getting the ball, but he's taking Fletcher right out of the game, isn't he?
He looks a little bit intimidated, tiny bit, not a massive amount, but just enough.
Hurd with a drop kick. Lloyd. This is the defence of the Essendon side. Hurd and Lloyd both at the ball there as the ball goes over the line and out of bounds. Throw in. So the Crows kept the pressure right on.
Well, that last centre bounce clearance, the high tackle by Wellman, made the call. Smarties on the run. He's dragged Matty Lloyd 150 metres out of his comfort zone.
There's no player within 80, 90 metres of the Essendon goal. As Ramanaskas gets the tap out, McPhee, quick hands to Hill, looking for somebody but not finding anybody. It comes out to Smart from Edwards. Here's a chance now for Lucas. McGregor goes in hard as well. Picked up by Edwards again. Inside 50, Ronnie Burns. Was he got to let the ball? Umpire called play on. Carey's in there hard at it as well. And the umpire will bounce.
You threw yourself back.
Instantaneous grab of the jumper.
Doesn't appreciate the acting.
Get the ball, get him up, get him up.
Boxing.
It is, yeah. He's the third man in the ring.
Or a stick up.
McLaren. Well, some would say they've robbed plenty over the years, Dennis. As Massey goes to ground.
No, good tackle. No chance to get rid of it.
Not us, Ed.
Not us, though. Here's Ronnie. Is that a free kick?
He took the hands away for a start as well. That's
fantastic decision.
Good umpiring.
Wide of the pack, McLeod. Hurd. Some brilliance there. McLeod wins that battle. Down towards the pocket. Carey in front. Bounces away from him out of bounds.
Ronnie's tackled himself more times than any opponent, I reckon, during his career.
Little tangle with the feet there. Once again, the clean hands off the deck. It just counts for everything in these conditions.
Throw in.
Adelaide are very good at these boundary line throw-ins and getting a shot on goal.
Inside the 50. Stengline knocks it towards the boundary. The 2 5s on a collision course. Beckley keeps it alive. 15 metres out. Carey almost knocked away well by Fletcher. Wellman paddles towards the boundary line. Down he went. Wanted a free. Welsh did well. Pushed in the back.
Third free against Mark Johnson.
Again, it comes back to the kick. Ugly kick, top of the square. I reckon there should be a stat tonight about scoring opportunities. Not so much shots at goal, but giving your forwards a chance. Adelaide have had a stack more scoring opportunities tonight than Essendon.
Adelaide get the most shots on goal from boundary line throw-ins inside forward 50 of any team.
Runs around. He's been in form in this area tonight. Not this time.
Ball clear, ball clear.
Behind, increases the lead. It's out to 20 now, under 10 minutes till half-time. He's booted 2-2.
All right, here's a chance for Fletcher now to make good from full back. Crows have got the zone up.
Yeah, there's only 2 Bomber targets within this 50 he's got to kick over.
Off 2 steps, he kicks it 50, 60 metres. Beautiful kick, but at the back it's going to come straight back. The Birdman Burton kicks it to Carey, lost it in the lights, but he still took the mark.
A lot of room for Scotty Welsh ahead on the lead.
Carey coming right into this game. He's going to thump it long. He went for the torpedo. He got it with his shin. A drop short. Out comes his opponent in Fletcher. He shins it forward as well. Biglands and McLeod. Biglands will shepherd and shepherd it beautifully. Open it up for McLeod. Then Bickley was able to run through. Got a kind bounce. It'll sit nicely for him. Has plenty of time. From just inside the 50, hoiks it up in the air. Carey's the man waiting in the pack. He was crunched by Welsh, in fact. Off the ground went Fletcher. Now they all dive in on top of it. We'll have another bounce. And we're 25 metres out directly in front of the Crows' goal. And Carey was absolutely poleaxed there. I reckon it was Welsh who got him.
And Fee came in from behind.
He's got a new opponent, Wayne Carey. Fletcher's been moved on to Wellman, on to Welsh. I reckon he might have Wellman.
Some friendly fire and some friendly advice for the trainer who said you want to come off.
No, now he's back.
His reply had the word off in it.
Yeah, he was telling him where to go as well.
Yeah, it was friendly fire. Call goes.
Thrown up about 15 metres out then. Cupido, like Lloyd moments ago, deep in defence, kicks it out towards the wing, leading in the race. Jacobs worked off the line of the football, though. It was well played by Begley. Hart goes short. Carey's got it. He wanted, I think, to go to Edwards. The man on the mark closed him down.
They just have no handball receives here, Essendon. They're getting nothing in space, but they just have to start winning the ball as well.
Kick inside the 50. Going back, Hurd. In front, McGregor. Tries to knock it towards the line. Clever hand pass. Running out of space, Burns. Somehow got it to Laddams. Adelaide playing very good footy. Welsh at the back almost. Spills across to McPhee. To McGrath. The danger passed, at least momentarily. He kicks it long beyond the wing. Lloyd. Nobody goal side. Well, there is now just one pair. In goes Reynolds. Knocks it in that direction. Richards. McGrath controlled it well. He was going past at speed. Solomon towards half forward. Oh, clever by Edwards. Little nudge at just the right time. Masterpiece of timing. Goes to the outer side. Hart's got it. He's got support. Bode the fumble, though. Close to the boundary line. Goes back to Hart. Not looking as good as it did a moment ago, but he finds a man forward. Stend line, 60 metres out. More pressure for the Bombers. Carey in front. Edged under the ball by Fletcher. Waiting behind Forster Knight was taken down. Again they scramble it out. This time Hurd. One senses it could be coming back again. Picked up by Clark. Into space. Massey close to the boundary line. Touched off the boot. Taken by Burton. Runs inside the 50. He fancies himself. You know, he pulls it in short. He sold everybody a bill of goods there. And Burns has taken the mark. Will there be a 50? No 50, says the umpire. Well, has to be a full brother. Did he go out of bounds there, Burton? He did. Maybe the ball didn't. Sold everybody on the long kick. Well, gee, I think that's 50.
Just super bit of play by Brett Burton. That's what it is.
16 paces, guys. Took 16 paces without touching it or bouncing it.
Fair effort. He's been dangerous, Ronnie. He's been in the good spots, been busy.
Sometimes playing in the wet takes the pressure off players, doesn't it?
Yeah, you've got a crutch.
That's right, exactly. And Ronnie has been very lively tonight. And what's he done? He's missed. Ramanauskas has gone across and said, Ronnie, you missed.
Nothing to do with weather there. Just missed the right spot on his foot. 1, 2, 3.
You count the one out of bounds?
No, mate, he's not in the field of play.
He's probably in the
15, spot on. He was counting them.
And Ramanauskas was lucky there because that was 50. The rabbit punch was a 50, but it wasn't paid in the end. It probably might have been the difference. Ronnie was still feeling the back of his scone as Massey kicks forward and Fletcher comes out and takes a very strong mark on his chest.
Gee, they need something here, Essendon. The senior blokes have just got to step up, Ed.
You can hear the wind rattling off the effects, Mike. It is a shocking night. And this is usually Melbourne's weather tomorrow, so get the coats on for tomorrow. Free kick going downfield to the Bombers. Tony Jones on the boundary. Tony.
Yeah, and that deficit becomes even more of a worry for the Bombers, Eddie, because the rain's starting again, so this might see him through to half-time if it gets any heavier.
All right, as the ball goes up towards the forward 50. Good mark there by Richards, who's been effective since coming on. Lloyd runs to full forward. It's over his head. Johnson was there. Stengline takes it to the boundary line. We'll have a throw in the forward pocket for the Bombers.
The contrast, as we see the high tackle, that kick there into Essendon's forward line is into the pocket, gets spoilt, goes out of bounds. Other end, it goes to the centre of the ground. There's a contest, a crumb and a potential goal. They've got to work harder to get it into the dangerous spot at the top of the square.
Jeez, the boundary umpire gave it a massive throw in. It's picked up by Solomon. No 15. Play-ons are called. Bode grabbed it, then handballed out. Rashudo again clears the 50, and Reynolds will run for the ball. He'll need to get a bit of a speed on here because the Crows are all over him. Massey did pretty well, but in support was picked up and kicked forward again there by Begley. Up towards Carey. It goes over the line and out of bounds. The uncontested possession, fellas, 71 to 35 Adelaide's way.
Yeah, and that is where Adelaide just get off the pack there, and they stay 5 metres off the pack, and they just get the quick little handball out to the side. They're in space. They move it forward so well. There's the tackle count. Solomon's laid 5.
Some bloke on the boundary line talking into the microphones.
I think I know it was.
Does a good impersonation of Gary Lyon too, doesn't he? Taking the mickey again. In goes Bode, upended. McGregor, Burns, clever. His confidence on the rise. Oh yes, a little virtuoso performance. Now he's in trouble. McLeod's got it though. McLeod from 45 towards the opposite pocket. Welsh. Oh, that's good. Considering the quality of the opposition, that's very good.
He wants to run around here and just lay it on his body. You can just one more line. Written all over him.
Thank you. Okay, Engle's right. He's right on it. Wait for the call, Adam.
He's got 2-2. You'd like him from here. I can't do any more for the Bombers than say that.
We're doing the best for the Bombers at the moment. You won't be able to watch it.
It's starting to get stronger, that rain. As Welsh comes in to strengthen the lead for the Crows, and he does that, and he celebrates.
If your place needs rescuing, get down to Mitre 10. Plus, while you're there, rescue your wallet with any of our 10 out of 10 DIY deals. All that adds up to 10 out of 10.
You can't beat 10 out of 10.
Mitre 10. Catalogue out now.
When did you last stop and think about the price of your car insurance? Does yours compare with Amy? Don't just renew your current policy. Compare it with Amy's prices first.
Lucky you're with Amy.
So Scotty Welsh has kicked the last 2 goals, and suddenly the Crows are up to a 27-point lead. It is still pouring rain here at Amy Stadium, so that 27-point lead is as good as about 10 goals at the moment. McPhee gets it out. Bombers under pressure every time they go near the ball. I gave you that stat a few moments ago for uncontested possessions as Rashudo goes forward again. Here's Welsh. He's already kicked 2 in a row. Make that 3. 3 straight to Scott Welsh. And now he is killing them. And he has got 4 for the...
All the action is at Sky City Adelaide this month, with over 30 grand in cash and prizes to be won.
Adelaide's 2 big teams are bringing you one big offer. Yes, right now at Radio Rentals and HomeCo, you can bring it home interest-free. Save on TVs, DVDs and computers and pay no interest till 2006. Save on dining settings, lounges and recliners and pay no interest until 2006. Save on watches and fridges and pay no interest till 2006. Save on beds and bedding and pay no interest until 2006. But only at Radio Rentals and HomeCo. Now that's twice as big.
You find out it's the bloke who turns up.
Inside 50 this term, Adelaide 15, Essendon 4. That really does tell the story. Down goes Tawney, claimed by Solomon. Could have almost been holding it there. Well, the weather grounded some planes earlier today in Adelaide. It's grounding the Bombers tonight. 50th stoppage of the game, we're told. Knocked down by Clark. 51st coming up.
And once again, boys, it was Rashudo who got the centre break.
Just about to say, Ed. He's working close. That's the inside 50. Oh, Adelaide bar Ramanascus, which is a fair effort. He's been playing out of half-back.
He's jumping. Matthews' ball. Clarkie, your ball at the front of it.
You heard that. Clark gets the free. Everything falling into place for the Crows now. Then he kicks it down towards half-forward. Burton turns McPhee around, tries to go off the deck, missed it. Johnson in the opposite direction, clever, measured the soccer, got it to Hurd. Short one, ill-directed. Solomon applied a tackle. Adams gets the free kick. Adams stepped around Solomon, dropped the mark, but Solomon, not to know that, thought he had the footy. Kicks into half forward. Fletcher did well. Carey seems bothered by the lights. Fletcher plays on. Forward of the mark, kicks it towards the outer side. It pitches just inside the boundary and goes out.
I thought there was an opening there for you, Dennis.
What was that?
With the old lyrics.
Oh, yes. Manfred Mann.
I think what he was indicating was he wanted the ball higher on that occasion.
The King, see, it confused me. That was the boss. He wrote that one.
Bit of blinded by the lights there. Here's a chance for Solomon.
This will suit Adelaide. The more stoppages around the ground, the more boundary line throw-ins, the better Adelaide will feel about it. They get about 8 players at least around it each time. They've had 40 more possessions already.
Hill got the tap. Adams gets it out. He's been busy in those packs. Here's Carey. He's killing him up forward, Carey. Look at that. Still does it. He's still got it. Couldn't quite feed the handball. That did enough, though. Stingline. Picked up by Shirley. Over to Carey. Carey from 55. The kick was a beauty. It's out in front. Here's Walsh again. He's kicked the last 3. He's got 4 for the game. This time Cupido gets in the way of it, but he's pushed off the ball far too easily by Ronnie Burns. Ronnie Burns on the left boot, just dragged down by Cupido. He made amends. John Cock takes it to the boundary line. That'll be a free kick, and it is. And Mark Johnson has just something's gone wrong here. He mustn't like the Adelaide water or something. He's just having a nightmare, Dermot.
Yep, 4th free kick, Ed.
Ladham's no one on the mark, so Ladham's squares it. Well, I think he went for the banana and mishit it. Clark dropped the chest mark. Carey's there. Still Carey threw that out. Picked up by Fletcher, who hooks it to the boundary line. And now it goes over the line out of bounds. Mark Johnson, what's going wrong?
It's all right to get angry, and it's great when you support your team to see a player get angry that they're going down. After that initial spurt, you just got to transfer it into your attack on the opponent in the right time, or attack on the ball. Adelaide are dangerous inside 50 of the boundary line throw-ins.
Almost half-time then. Going to the ground. Laddams did well. Got it to Burton. To Rashudo. Stopped quickly. Back to Burton. A centering kick again. Coming hard. Hurd did very well with courage. Going back. Took the mark. Gives it to Peveril. Kicks it out wide. All one-way traffic, though. In fact, the margin on the scoreboard at the moment flatters the Bombers. They just can't go forward. Ball's out of bounds.
I reckon you let Mark Johnson off the hook too easily. They've had problems all year, Essendon. They've had players reported. They've been undisciplined, and it's a bit of a cop-out. It might look tough to someone else, but all it does is let your teammates down when they least can afford it.
He was the man who chastised Cupido too. Just outside the 50. Begley soccers it forward. Inside the 50 now. Plenty of bodies around the ball. We'll get a whistle. We're down to 30 seconds.
Disposals inside 50. Yes, Adelaide have had 40. Essendon have had 13. And that's as much to do with the way that it's gone in to Essendon's forward 50 as it has to do with the players in there.
Inside 50 is 28-17 for the game. Over the football, Hurd pushed in the back. He'll get the free kick, and that will just about do the action in the opening half. Hurd plays on quickly, didn't look, kicks it up towards the wing. Richards surrounded, pops it up immediately to Begley. The clock will beat the Crows, something the Bombers haven't been able to do so far. Tawney gets the last kick of the term. And Essendon with a lot of soul-searching to do. And there's a man who starred in the opening half. 4 goals to half-time on a rainy night in Adelaide. 7-7-2-4.
Absolutely, it has been a big first half for the Adelaide Crows. Join us right after this for Holden half-time. Dermot Brereton and Gary Lyon as the Adelaide Crows go in, leading 7-7-49 to Essendon.
Robbed on Millionaire. We don't think so, but to be fair, we're giving him another crack. 8:30 Monday, Cherry's back on the hot seat playing for $64,000. Who wants to be a millionaire Monday on 9?
How do
we rescue our home? With Mitre 10 DIY deals like this Warrior cut-off saw, $149. Plus this Hella halogen heater, $44.95. Plus Right Grow potting mix at under $3. All that adds up to 10 out of 10.
And you can't beat 10 out of 10.
Mitre 10. Catalogue out now.
Do it.
Because
I
said...
So, what can I get you?
How's that new steak Chipotle?
You know our new Chipotle Southwest steak and cheese? It's sliced steak and melted cheese topped with a Chipotle pepper sauce for a spicy kick.
I'll take it.
Whatever you say.
Subway, eat fresh.
Hey, Ray, look at this. Wall-to-wall entertainment.
You want entertainment, Carl? I'll give you entertainment. Look, Carl, I'm a maniac! Maniac! Let's see their entertainment do this!
Get even more entertainment at Blockbuster, because we now give you 3 nights to enjoy selected new releases, like the explosive thriller Die Another Day and the romantic comedy 2 Weeks Notice. Make it 3 nights for the price of 1. Make it a Blockbuster night.
Shopping at Foodland always means great prices. Check these savings out. SBC baked beans or spaghetti, 425 grams, 69 cents, save 31 cents. LA Ice Cola, 2 litre for the 1.25 litre price, 99 cents, save 42 cents. Cadbury medium bars, 30 to 65 gram, 89 cents, save 43 cents. And Sorbent toilet rolls, 4-pack, $2.79, save 13 cents. Come on, South Aussies, shop at Foodland.
Foodland, the mighty South Aussies, yeah.
$1 million of rugs and mattresses. Prices crash this weekend.
Don't pay $130.39.
Save to 71%. Save to 71% off everything.
Don't pay $150.49.
Save to 71%. Save to 71% off everything.
Don't pay $300.99.
Save to 71% off everything.
Queen size inner springs from $139.
Save to 71% off everything.
Queen size beds from $99.
Save to 71% off everything. The Rug and Mattress Warehouse, Manton Street, Hindmarsh, this weekend.
It's the toy sale at Kmart. Until Friday, Swan Lake Barbie, $43.84. And Fur Real Cats, only $69 each. Hurry in for the lowest prices guaranteed and no deposit lay-by now for Christmas. Kmart, cutting the cost of living.
With rear DVD screens, V8 power, and Holden's finest engineering. Caprice. Holden Caprice.
Monday, direct from the hit series The Block, it's Amity Dry in her first television performance. Plus Tony Martin, Mick Malloy and Judith Lucy. When it's too hot to handle, you know it's McCallum tonight, 9:30 Monday on 9.
Holden half-time.
And Richards, the only 2 goal scorers for Essendon.
I reckon they've looked dangerous all night, Adelaide. Just the way they've played. Their forward structure's been great. They haven't been too tall or too top-heavy. Carey's been very good as a player to go through, and Welsh has added the finishing touches.
Absolutely, and the thing is they're just getting numbers around the outside of the pack also. See, even there, just a little deft give by hand. They've had 50 more possessions, 48 to be precise, in a half a foot. It's 24 a quarter, and nearly all of those have transpired to little knock-ons like that or little handball gives that have found the target, not just wet weather footy.
But that's right. At the other end of the ground, though, Essendon are trying to be too precise. You have a look at these things, and they've just manufactured something, been able to scrubber it forward. A little bit of luck goes a long way. This one here, I mean, Welsh attacks the footy. if you kick it into that narrow corridor in there often enough, where mistakes made and opportunities present themselves.
We have a look. This is the one that goes over the back on Dustin Fletcher. And once Fletcher came down, you saw him against his first opponent. He played in front. Against Fletcher, he was prepared to play him from behind. I know Fletch goes for front position, but he just eased him off the drop zone of the ball then.
Someone had to make a bit of a statement early in this game, and I reckon the captain of Adelaide, Mark Rasciuto, saw the weather coming down and said, I'll put a stamp on it early, show the way, show that this is the only way we'll go about. 12 first quarter possessions, typified by that. Solomon attack on him, he bounced off, got the ball forward. I thought it was one of the better quarters of footy I've seen in terms of ball getting, but also leadership.
He's so strong through the torso, isn't he? I reckon some blokes would turn up here tonight and see all the rain and go, oh, no, I can't use my skills. Oh, no, I won't be able to hold my body over the ball. He turns up and just says, oh, wet weather. Give me a chance to just bullet my way in there, and it just suits him down to the ground.
Yeah, and when you've got a good, strong leader like that, you influence the result, and I reckon the rest of them took up the lead. Wayne Carey's also been a terrific leader over the years, and whilst his numbers may not be great, we've had him on player cam all night. He has summed this up beautifully, these conditions. He realises he's got to present and provide an opportunity for those around him, and it's been a pretty impressive first half.
You see, Fletcher right now is by far the better athlete. If you watch every time Wayne gets to the ball first, he just ambles away to it. I mean, he's put the sprint on this one, but he's just able to work out where to go and get the ball. This is the one where he just flicks it out.
His recovery's been good.
It hasn't been bad at all, has it? That's the hook across the body there. I mean, his vision, we know it's superb. And this one here, he just reads that ball quicker. You put Fletcher and Carey in a sprint, head-to-head over 50 metres, Fletcher will get there 10 metres ahead of Wayne Carey. Yet put a ball into the equation, and Wayne Carey just knows where it's going that half a second before.
And he's enjoying the knocks too. He likes it. He saw tomorrow, I'm sure. But 33 points is the margin here at half-time in favour of the Adelaide Crows. They're doing it very nicely indeed. We'll take a break. After the break, Eddie Maguire with a moving tribute to Bob Rose on Friday Night Football.
6:30 Saturday.
Welcome aboard Funniest Home Videos Flight 2103.
They say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery.
Knock it off!
Knock it off! But please don't try this at home.
I'm going to have nightmares tonight.
Then at 7, Caleb Packham hides the camera, sets the trap at everybody's game. And you never know where they'll strike next.
Always look for the hidden camera.
All new camera trap right after Funniest Videos. 7 o'clock Saturday on 9.
Is your home in need of a little rescuing? Well, DIY Rescue, coming soon to 9, gives you the chance to win a $50,000 rescue for your home. To enter, call into your Mitre 10 store and we'll announce the winners on the Today Show on August 1.
It's the toy sale at Kmart. Spend $100 or more in one transaction on toys with your Coles Myer card at Kmart and you'll pay nothing until January 2004. Hurry, offer ends Friday 18 July. Kmart, cutting the cost of living.
The party's on. It's Direct Rock Apple's first birthday. And to celebrate, we're giving a further 10% off our existing best price guarantee. Rock bottom prices on everything in store. To say thank you, Adelaide. Celebrate with us this Saturday and Sunday only. 103 Sir Donald Bradman Drive, Hilton, and Main North Road, Parafield Airport.
Get into Video Easy now for your copy of Daredevil. Rent it now, buy it now, and you'll also score a 2-for-1 cinema pass to see The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Only at Video Easy. Fire up with Daredevil. Fire up at Video Easy now.
Bowden Electrical delivers on Hoover.
Hoover Auto Washes with high rise agitator deliver a gentler, cleaner, brighter wash with less creasing. And Keith Bowden delivers Hoover to you when you want it, free of charge. But best of all, we always deliver on price.
You keep coming back. Keep coming back.
Hurry! This weekend, save 15% off any Sofa Shop sofa or sofa bed. 15% off any Jason recliner or leather lounge suite. 15% off any special orders. There are no exceptions. Only at
The Sofa Shop.
It's the toy sale at Kmart. Spend $100 or more in one transaction on toys with your Coles Myer card at Kmart and you'll pay nothing until January 2004. Hurry, offer ends Friday 18 July. Kmart, cutting the cost of living.
This AFL coverage proudly brought to you by Carlton Draft, Amy and Primus Telecom.
Welcome back to Holden half-time, and the door may well be closing on Essendon tonight as they trail by 33 points. Well, today at the Melbourne Town Hall, a moving farewell to one of the greats of the AFL game in Collingwood legend Bob Rose. He may have been a Collingwood star, but he was a legend of football and a tremendous man of humanity. We decided to get his old mate and his former captain Lou Richards to tell us all about the man that was Bob Rose.
Some more Bob Roses. For many people, he seemed to demonstrate old-fashioned values and beliefs that perhaps we miss a little and regret having superseded in a brasher age.
Fantastic, couldn't be better, unbelievable, all those words. We're free again.
Well, we all know Bob Rose is the great champion footballer for Collingwood, but what Bob Rose and his wife Elsie did for that boy, young Robert, in my way of thinking, and I'll never forget this, they're two of the greatest people I've met in my life. And Bob, as you know, was Father of the Year one year, but Bob and Elsie should have been Father and Mother of the Year every year because it was such a sacrifice they made.
I regard this award as recognition not just for myself, but of all fathers, and particularly all the parents of disabled children who require our love and care.
He was and always
We'll take a break. We'll be back with more Friday Night Football. This is AFL on 9.
Holden half-time.
7:30 Saturday. On land, on sea, or in the air, no place is safe from those kooky cops. Police Academy 4, Citizens on Patrol. 7:30 Saturday on
Nothing. Because that's all you'll pay on furniture and electrical at Myer until July 2004. No deposit, no repayments, and no interest for 12 months when you spend $500 or more. Conditions and exclusions apply. See in store. Hurry, ends July 28.
And that's drinks with the score poised at 272. It certainly still scores.
You'd be popular too if you were selling the multi-award winning Ford Focus. Europe's mighty performer is now available from an unbeatable 19,980 with free air conditioning. Save $2,680. You heard right. Save $2,680 from 19,980 with free air conditioning. Enjoy huge savings at our annual half-year stock clearance. Only from your Ford dealer.
Hey Ray, check this out. Look at that deal.
Blockbuster and Triple M bring you the Movies That Rock deal. Buy any one of our specially marked movies and get another one free. Buy one movie, get one free. Make it a blockbuster night.
Now this weekend's about helping out, mate. The AFL Foundation's giving to those who cop it a bit rough.
Who? The umpires?
No, we're helping create a future for those in need.
Wayne Jackson?
No, mate. It's for charity.
Get into the spirit of Charity Weekend and help the AFL Foundation support charity.
Reaching out to those who need a little help.
I'm with you, Bob.
Easy.
If your place needs rescuing, get down a Mitre 10. Plus, while you're there, rescue your wallet with any of our 10 out of 10 DIY deals. All that adds up to 10 out of 10.
You can't beat 10 out of 10.
Mitre 10. Catalogue out now.
Redland stock take sale is on now and we're going to sell the lot. We have red tagged everything. Red tags on beds, mattresses, ensembles and furniture with bargains like these. Australian made queen size beds. Or want a contemporary style. Or is Federation your go? But there's more, much more in the store. So pick me. Hurry, it's only while stocks last and save me too.
This ad is about nothing. Because that's all you'll pay on furniture and electrical at Myer until July 2004. No deposit, no repayments, and no interest for 12 months when you spend $500 or more. Conditions and exclusions apply. See in store. Hurry, ends July 28.
Crime in our schools. Not even security cameras are safe from thieves.
A series of attacks that we seem to have been having after dark.
Tomorrow at 6, a growing suburban dilemma.
We really don't want to turn the place into a fortress.
Welcome. Before we start, quickly the telestrator, Gary.
Yeah, just quickly, have a look at this. Wayne Carey needs two little mates. This has been the story of the night. It's a triangle. Carey will contest, Burns and also John Cocker just there, and you can make a little triangle all over the ground. It's been the story of the night, and he's given a pretty fair ride.
Crows by 33 points. Start of the third term on Friday Night Football. Hill goes up and knocks the Bombers forward. Taken by Burton to Begley. Goes wider still. Rashido back immediately into the action to half forward. Carey almost. Well played by Lucas with that trusty left boot as he put it out of bounds on the full. Now on the bounce. Deliberate's the call. Well, that is a tough one, knowing the circumstances with which Lucas kicks the footy.
Move out. What he's saying is to say he better learn to get a right foot.
Well, if he hasn't got one, that's a tough call.
Lucas on the Carey now, as you can see there.
John Cock penalised players for their limitations. Lucas over the top, knocks it down. Fletcher spills wide, taken by Hart a long way up the ground. He snaps and hits the post. Well, Fletcher initially went the wrong way as we go down to the dock.
Well, James Hird did have some treatment on the knee at half-time. It looks to be moving pretty well. Both benches at full strength at the moment, but this second half, it's just the weather. We'll see a hamstring go in the cold conditions.
Big bandage around Danny Jacobs' knee too, Doc, if you can just keep an eye on that one and let us know what the trouble is there. Might just be a superficial cut, but...
Dustin Fletcher, who's had a dirty night tonight so far, comes in off a couple of steps. He doesn't get onto that one, but gets reasonable distance on it anyway. And Lucas, who has gone on to Carey, takes the mark at the halfback flank position. His 10th touch coming up for Scotty Lucas. Bombers got to get something going here. Gets it out to Welsh. They need some run from halfback. Welsh's kick is up the line, looking for Lloyd over the head of the pack. Richards Knocks it forward over the line and out of bounds. We'll have a throw in about 55 metres out from the Bomber goal.
Been a bit of a reshuffle. Fletcher's gone on to Welsh. McVeigh has gone down on to Ronnie Burns. Lucas, as we said, on to Carey.
Only 2 goals for the Bombers for the game. One in the first quarter to Matthew Lloyd. The second and the last one was 3 minutes 40 into the second quarter when Tent Richards took a mark from a pass from Matthew Lloyd. So Lloyd's been involved in both. But as you can see, 34 points the difference. Alec Epis, premiership player from 65 of the Bombers, on the bench, looking concerned, as well he should, as Solomon gets the ball out. Now Essendon a chance. Up towards full forward. Cupido went up. Off the hands, Richards. Umpires paid the free kick to the Adelaide Crows, and Smart repels again.
To Bickley. Around the outer side goes the kick then. Carey once more the target. Edged under the footy will get the free. And don't the crowd love it.
Just held the ground.
Pretty soft.
And then just at the last second decides I'm going forward.
That's a 2.2 difficulty.
House of Bulger. House of Bulger candidate.
Short to Hart.
Well, actually, he could act.
A goal kicker in this term. Forward of the wing. Inside the 50 goes the kick. And he's been hot all night. Welsh.
Once again, Dennis, we see Scotty Welsh on this occasion, when he's got Dustin Fletcher, he'll start behind him. On every other time the ball's come in, he actually starts in front, leads out, gathers the ball, U-turns. Happy to take up the rear position on Dustin Fletcher.
James. Dustin Fletcher looks like a bloke tonight who's, you know, when you're cold and you can't sort of get going.
Run him out on the ground and say, there's a puddle, dive in it.
Yeah, he's just having a dirty night.
10 kicks, 2 marks. Will it be 5 goals? To Scott Welsh. Gives it a wide. Goal umpire goes to the post.
All the action is at Sky City Adelaide this month, with over 30 grand in cash and prizes to be won.
And the margin now 40 points. Welsh has kicked the last 4 goals of the game. He's got 5 for the night, and he was probably ripped off one as well. And he'll get another chance here because it's up in the forward line again. Laddams out to Carey, crashes through, just dropped the ball. Laddams goes again, he gets it out to McLeod, who's been quiet. McLeod goes to the pocket, and John Cock has marked it, and suddenly the Crows are going on a rampage.
Big David Hill, next time he goes for a centre bounce, he's got to watch the ball. I know that Rhett Biglands is the kind of bloke who would like to put the foot out and put a couple of railway lines down the front of your thigh, and he loves contact. But for your team, you've still got to run straight at the bounce down.
John Cock has kicked 2 behinds tonight, and he's kicked 11 goals, 11 for the season.
Just a couple in the mark. Yep.
In he comes, reverse angle shot. Kick is on its way.
Right.
He's put it right through the middle, and this is turning into a bit of a massacre here at Amy Stadium.
When did you last stop and think about the price of your home insurance? Does yours compare with Amy? Don't just renew your current policy. Compare it with Amy's prices first.
Lucky you're with Amy.
How do we rescue our home?
With Mitre 10 DIY deals like Omo Washing Powder Value Pack, $47.95, plus a Click Jelly Bean Extension Lead, $16.95, plus this Dorsey Combo Torch Pack, $13.95. All that adds up to 10 out of 10.
You can't beat 10 out of 10.
Mitre 10, catalogue out now.
That was a wonderful kick by John Cock into the teeth of that breeze, going across the ground. Here's Hurd. Very high ball down towards half forward. Who wants it most? Nobody. They let it bounce. Begley goes in, takes it, had it, lost it. Rashido over the top. Socket out of there by McGrath. McLeod. Bullen. Hurd taken down. Back to Bullen. Tackled immediately by Massey and wrestled to the ground.
We find out some things tonight. This is a massive lead. You would not expect them to get back, but you want to see which Essendon blokes are going to put their body on the line here, and James Hurd gives a free away. But really, when there's a victory, it's going to be a slim chance. Who's really going to have a crack at it?
McLeod got it from Bickley. Kicks well inside the 50. Lucas over the top. Welsh heads for the boundary line. And out it goes. It'll be thrown in. Mark Rashido now up to 18 possessions, averaging 22 a game this season. with a high of 39 against the Kangaroos.
Ooh.
Back in round 6, Carey goes down. By play.
He's got the look about him at the moment.
He has, hasn't he?
He has.
Passed in behind. The pack a chance for Bullen. Over at Biglands. Hurd crawling forward. Rashudo once more. He's got the look too. And the hunger. Bickley down towards full forward. Lucas found it on the ground. Ball up.
That's easy for you to say, Dennis.
Got a stretch there, Dennis. Yeah, people out there will be thinking, when will that voice ever give in if Dennis Cometti's it? He's perfect all the time. Would you like to answer them now, Dennis?
Dennis's voice couldn't break any further, could it?
Thank you, Ed.
Yeah, it's magnificent. As Hurd gets the kick out. He had a good night, Begley. He's turned Ramanaskas inside out and got one in the back and will take the free kick.
Part of finding this out from an Essendon point of view is not giving away silly free kicks that are going to help you with maybe with your frustration, but not the side.
19-11, the free kick count in favour of the Crows. John Cock is there to the boundary line, throw in inside the forward 50 again for the Crows. We've played 8 minutes and the forward 50s for this quarter has been all the Adelaide Crows' way.
They get a quick takeaway kick at the goal square here. Carey one out against Lucas is going to be very dangerous.
As you can see, 6-1 the inside 50s, and most of the time in that 6-1 it's actually been in the Adelaide forward 50.
No.
Ball up.
Still there. Carey one out. He'll try and out-muscle his opponent. Take a chest mark there.
Joe Dem just underlined that. Disposals inside 50. 51 to Adelaide, 13 to Essendon. John Cock got a hand on the ball, probably robbed his teammate McLeod of it at that stage. Stingline did very well to go in and get it. Welsh flicks it out for the Bombers, but it's coming straight back. Burton outside the 50, goes to Bigland, who showed great dexterity with his hand and not much with his foot. And the ball has been marked now by this man, Solomon.
Towards the outer side, coming up on the lead, Lloyd. A long way from home.
8 possession.
Kicks inside the 50. Richards from behind Bassett. Down in front, Jacobs running out of space. Does well. Kept his footing. Pulls it back inside the 50. Tough order though for Ramanaskas. Coming in hard. Burton will have to run hard up ahead.
Was that a touch on the ground or a fake? Again, he didn't actually touch it. He's run 40 metres and hasn't bounced or touched it.
Kicks it down towards half forward. Lucas misses it. And it runs out of bounds off his fingertips. What are you saying?
Well, he actually faked he was going to touch the ball on the ground and it never hit the deck. So he's run 40 metres without bouncing it.
A sleight of hand.
He stooged the umpire.
Throw it in down towards right half forward then. Hill goes back. Over his head though. Dug out of there by Rashudo to Burton. They'll compete right on the 50. Little nudge. Big enough to win a free kick for Laddams about 55 metres out. 62-16. It's turning very sour for the Bombers. Laddams from long range sends it to about 5 metres out. Fletcher knocked it down in front. Burns put the body in. So too Johnson. Burns battles on, ties it up. More work for the umpire.
Yeah, I've been stooged. I've stooged myself here. You got to touch on it.
Stooge yourself. You were hugging quarter the poor man.
Look at that.
You almost
faith.
put it through the ground.
Yeah, all right, okay. He did too. He almost place kicked it. I thought he missed.
There's yours.
Yeah, not good on that occasion. Well, most times. Oh, well, they did Polish. You got to look for something.
Out comes Smart, brings it down. Bullen inside 50. Here's a chance for the Bombers. The mark's been taken by Ted Richards. He's kicked his second.
Adelaide's 2 big teams are bringing you one big offer. Yes, right now at Radio Rentals and HomeCo, you can bring it home interest-free. Save on TVs, DVDs and computers and pay no interest till 2006. Save on dining settings, lounges and recliners and pay no interest until 2006. Save on washes and fridges and pay no interest till 2006. Save on beds and bedding and pay no interest until 2006. But only at Radio Rentals and HomeCo. Now that's twice as big.
So Ted Richards has kicked the last 2 goals of the game for Essendon. Unfortunately, they were some quarter and 10 minutes apart nearly.
No. Clear it, Adam.
Free kick out of the centre to Biglands again. Oh, it's a mighty kick up towards full forward. Over the head of the pack, Carey to the open goal. Fletcher's there, Carey slaps it back and hits the woodwork and has hurt himself. Has gone down. He's hit the post, Wayne Carey. Let's go back to the shot close to the ground. He's done his knee, I reckon, Wayne Carey, or broken his leg, has he?
I tell you what, he chased that back and beat Fletcher back to the ball, so he was motoring.
Watch this. Oh, right into the post. Oh, now those posts are square down there. They actually have an edge. We looked at this before the game. We might get a shot, if we can, of the posts, a close shot above the padding there. And in most Melbourne grounds, the goalposts are round, aren't they?
Yep.
Now, have a look. See that? They've got an edge. Now, we talked about this before the game. We thought it was ridiculous.
They've stopped the game.
And what's happened here is Wayne Carey has gone straight in, and the padding around it isn't that thick, and he's actually hit the edge of that. Now, we've had a couple of problems at Football Park with over the years with some of the affectations of the South Australian football. I'm not being a smart aleck here, but just some of the different things they have, like square posts and the discs in the middle. And have a look. You can see the bottom of that pad. It's square.
Yeah,
and that's what's hit
on
his
the
knee.
kneecap.
And that has hurt Wayne Carey in a very bad way. Dr. Peter Larkins, I don't know if you've been able to see it, Pete. It's on the scoreboard. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, there's no doubt, Ed, he's had a direct hit around the kneecap area. Now, depending on how hard that is, I mean, certainly, you know, you could crack the bone. They're examining his kneecap. It's not a ligament injury in the traditional sense, so it certainly could be at worst a fractured kneecap, perhaps just bad bruising at best, you'd hope, for Wayne Carey. But as you're saying, yet it's been a real contact onto the sharper edge, even though it's padded. Be interesting to see how thick it is if we could have a look later.
Dislocate. He's pushing down on that kneecap, but I tell you, he's moved so well tonight, and even that chase back to the footy was an indication of the sort of night he's having, the form that he's running into. It would be it'd be a huge loss for Adelaide, and a travesty for him.
Dennis, Perth, you don't have the edges on the post there?
I'm thinking on my feet here. No, I don't think so, Ed.
Well, so the cut, so the edges come through the padding.
It's remarkable. You made that point before the game.
Yeah, we're just having a look around as they're having shots at goal, and I usually made the offer. I couldn't believe they had square posts here.
Get a reasonable size of the shot of the size of the bloke when he sits on these.
See, this looks like it's broken the pad there.
It's a hard man.
Well, not hard enough. I mean, no man is. Carey for the night, 8 disposals, 3 marks, 5 inside 50s and 5 tackles, and the little nudge forwards and shepherds and all the rest of it. Good gash. Look at that. Ouch.
Yeah, that's a beauty.
Well, that is a shocker.
It's just a gash.
Well,
yeah, it is. I mean, obviously that's there. It's pretty deep, going right through.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of thing that every time he keeps playing, I mean, that's got to heal from the inside. I mean, the doc will know all about it, but it will come open, and it will probably cause a few blood rules later in the year.
It's patently ridiculous to have goalposts with edges on them.
Quite right.
I mean, that's just ridiculous. Now, they allegedly have health and safety officers having a look at all these things. We talk about the turf at Colonial, or at Telstra Dome. For the second time, Amy Stadium will come under scrutiny.
Kick around the outer side from Mark Johnson. Begley liked his game. Over the top, Rashudo once more. Still working double time. In goes Hurd. The opposing captain couldn't control the footy. It's out of bounds. 11 minutes till three-quarter time. The margin is 40 points. Tony Jones.
Well, the main scoreboard taking Channel 9's feed tonight, and every time we show a shot of the point post, the crowd boos. They're unbelievable over here. They boo a point post.
Thrown in. Well, hopefully there's some good news to come later in the night on Wayne Carey, who was finding it tonight. The signs were good. Begley taken down. Umpire wants it. So often the way, one-sided games, and this seems to fit into that category, produce injuries that come back to haunt clubs.
Probably had as much to do with the fact that he was feeling good and was up and about. Like the chase was almost a futile chase, but it was one of those ones where he thought, gee, I'm feeling good, I'm going to have a crack at this, and it brought about his undoing.
Throw it outer side. Over the top, Clark knocks it down. Rashudo picked up by Clark. Hand passes towards the 50. Welsh comes across on the angle. and achieves his objective, just paddles the ball across the boundary line.
What is also interesting, as Tony Jones said, the Channel 9 feed going up onto the scoreboard, it's actually a direct feed, so the countdown clock is on the scoreboard, which is illegal in the AFL.
I think it's going to have much of an effect tonight.
No, not tonight, but
Fine. Thanks, Sam.
just a little bit of interest again. Tony Jones.
Well, I think what they do, Eddie, and we'll have to just wait until the last few minutes to confirm it, I think they actually block out the clock towards the end of the quarters.
Okay, Tony, we'll keep an eye on that one. 41,758 is a magnificent crowd in what has been absolutely ordinary conditions, but as you can tell from the effects marks, the sting has really gone out of the crowd. They were celebrating tonight, the Crows, because they're thumping Essendon by 40 points. Bombers kick the last goal, and they might get another one here as Ramanauskas runs to 50 and has a flying shot at the goal. It is touched right on the line. Now they're back on their feet, the Crows fans. They like that from Bassett.
Well, it's going to take an extraordinary turnaround. They've just got to throw a bit of caution to the wind, you would imagine. The Essendon side, their season is virtually on the line tonight, and they might as well go down trying to do something remarkable than just hang around and get beaten by 40, 50 points.
Plenty of wind to throw that caution on. McGregor goes to the outer side. Stenglein to Hart. He's forward of the wing. Kicks down towards the attacking 50. They've moved it a long way and quickly, but Laddams can't reel it in. It'll be thrown in just outside the 50.
This is where they've got to do something here as we look at the hard-added stat there. Number one for hardball gets Adelaide, and if they just pan away from this, you'll see that they make a big stack around the boundary line throws. They've just got to start winning some of the footy, even if reduce the numbers around the ball. Give her the chance.
Adelaide by 39 points. Bullen got it away to Forster Knight, upended as he kicks, and that affects the kick. It's out of bounds on the full.
They're so physical, Adelaide. Even when they don't win the ball like that, it's just a good hit, tackle put on the player going the other way.
Yeah, to even suggest they could come back is to do Adelaide a disservice, I reckon. They have been sensational.
Welsh has put at 5 inside the 50. Well, a couple of players slipped over there. Eventually, it comes back to the first man to slip, and that's Hill, and he's feeling the worst for wear. And about 5 metres away, you can see a bit of hard work being done. McVeigh at the bottom of that pack, last man up.
Real danger here, Dennis. Really good at taking away from these situations. The Crows only 20 metres out, directly in front.
Hill with Clark reaching over the top. Peveril, Rashudo taken down. Didn't quite pick his mark there. James Hurd was waiting for him. It'll be thrown up.
So the sting has really gone out of this game since Wayne Carey went down. Off the ground goes McLeod. Picked up by Hurd. The kick was smothered. Welsh has been in everything. Over the line and out of bounds. Lever throw in. 41,758. Scott Welsh with 5 goals. 2 has been the major goal scorer of the night. The only other multiple goal scorer, by the way, is Ted Richards, who's kicked 2 of Essendon's 3 goals. Matthew Lloyd having kicked the other. Mark Rashudo with the possessions there has been fantastic. It actually bounced off Clark's head. Here's Bickley. Always good in the clinches. It's a beautiful kick right to the top of the square. Up goes Biglands. It's punched away by Lucas. Barno back on the ground. He flicks it out to Welsh. Welsh runs. One of the few times I've seen anyone run out of the fence for the Bombers. He must have just got a bootlace on that one. Grabbed high was McLeod as well. Umpire will bounce at half-forward flank for the Crows.
Yeah, great chase down, tackle by Graham Johncock. This is a sensational get here. Just gets over the end of him.
That's
had to be a free kick, you'd think.
Should have been a free kick to Johncock.
Well, it used to be in the good old days, didn't it? Which were about, what, 6 months ago?
2 weeks ago.
No, that's it.
Hart goes for the big torpedo. Up towards full forward again. This bloke's had a night out. He'll do anything. Welsh gets it over to Biglands. Beautiful kick. Look at that around the body. Underneath it was Hurd. And
too high?
Yes, it might be a free kick in front of goals here because Biglands got cleaned up. Yep.
Dustin Fletcher was the player.
Good team on the full face.
And another bomber cheap shot is going to result in a shot at the goal.
James.
Yeah, it was Dustin Fletcher. Have a look at this. Not much.
That's pretty hard to get high on Red Biglands, though. He's 6'6".
Just hit his shoulder.
He's off the ground. I mean, it's just a misdirect one. It isn't hard. It isn't, you know, it's soft, but you've got to jump up to a man who's off the ground and he's 6'6" to get him up high. It's just a give up.
Yeah, if he had got him under the shoulder, it would have been play on.
Yeah, absolutely. And it probably would have hurt more.
All right, so Tyson Stingline lining up for his first goal of the night. He comes in, the kick is on its way. It'll be 50 anyway. Doesn't matter, he's kicked the goal.
Fantastic, she'll call him now. Sophie, I've got the winner of the competition. There's his number. Oh, he's cute. Oh, it's engaged.
Don't miss important calls when you're on the internet. Be online and use your phone at the same time. For frustration-free internet, join iPrimus Broadband.
Crows by 45 points then. Clark directed it down virtually at his own feet. Laddams gives it across to Burton. High ball to half forward. Peverill's in the row. Peverill plays on immediately. Lucas for the Bombers. Swings it out wide. Barnard looks down towards half forward. High ball. They'll compete about 40 metres out. Lloyd comes to it. McGregor in front, missed it. Smart ricochets to McGregor. Off his step, kicks it back inside the centre square. Bullen, too nimble for Clark. Goes looking for Bolton, I fancy. Didn't get there. Laddams did well between two Bombers. Took the timely defensive mark. Little chip. McGregor's got it. Touched on the mark by Bolton. Rashudo pushed off the line of the football. Johnson did well to Bullen, to McGrath. I think he's got the goal. He has. Well done.
Arena style.
So the margin back to 39 points. Rashudo off the ground. He has had a huge night tonight, Mark Rashudo. He dominated in the first quarter, 13 possessions, finished up with 22. He's gone off for a bit of a rest. As the ball goes forward again for the Bombers, who are trying to fight back a little bit, show a bit of pride, the Bombers, as they go forward. Hurd gets it forward. Here's a chance for Richards for goal number 3, and Ted Richards does. Ted Richards gets his third goal.
It's been lovely, hasn't he?
Great effort.
Since quarter time, Gary, the Bombers have been inside forward 50 on 10 occasions. Adelaide 27. That's a show of the dominance of the midfield. But Richards just stays at the ball. Look, the one thing about him when you're looking at him as a pseudo key forward, when he leads for it, he hasn't got all that many tricks yet. He'll learn them. He'll learn how to run a few curves and the likes. He's pretty straight up and down in his leading. But one thing he will do, he will run to the ball and he will present. Ball goes over his head, he runs straight back to it.
Super impressive last week.
Back in the middle, 10-8-5-5. Let's go down to the dock for the latest on Wayne Carey.
Yeah, just initial reports, Dennis, he's got a bad cut over the front of the knee, which we saw on camera, with only bruising of the kneecap. That's not fully confirmed, but that would be good news.
Oh, it sounds like terrific news if that's the case. Bullen, too slick for Hurd. Stengline off the ground. For the first time in this match, the Bombers have got consecutive goals. Out towards left half forward for the Crows it runs. Bode escorts it across. Rashudo sitting down for the moment. That's a luxury, certainly. 22 disposals on his season's average.
2 goals scored. Don't know whether it's a coincidence or not, but you could mount a fair case to say that he has that sort of influence on a game.
Yes, and a bit early. They need to be careful. Wellman dragged off it. Laddams did well. McLeod stood up in a tackle, got it away to Stengline, kicks inside the 50. How will it bounce? Awkwardly for all concerned. Fletcher goes after the football. Welsh hanging off the pack that time. He's the man to watch. Fletcher left him and went to Tawney.
Just a little bit niggly, Dustin Fletcher. Touch out of form this evening.
Fell at their feet. Welsh kicks it outside the 50. Barnard trying to knock it down to Bullen. Bickley gets a hand pass away to Massey. Massey 55 metres out, lines up. Hasn't got the carry. Tawney going backwards, had to go for it. Spilt the mark back to the dock.
Yeah, Ed mentioned earlier about Dustin Fletcher looking quite uncomfortable. He's had the physio out to him twice this quarter with discussions about that chronic ankle, so I think it's bothering him a little bit in the heavy conditions.
Yeah, he certainly just hasn't looked flexible at all tonight. Dustin Fletcher, one of the best in the Cape. It was a good kick to Lucas, and Lucas's kick was a beauty to Barnard. Now the Bombers are starting to get a movement going towards Reynolds, who's pushed off the ball by Edwards, who ended up with the ball. Line kick forward underneath Barnard. He had to sit and wait. It's going to fall to Ramanaskas. Looking around at the body, almost gave the handball off, decided to kick. McGrath, Hart, McGrath knocks it out. And another stalemate. We'll have a ball up 55 metres out from the Essendon goal.
There's one thing they got going for them, the Bombers, and that is the dominance of Adelaide has only resulted in 10 goals. And that gives them some chance, I guess. One of the few things they've had going for them tonight.
Ramanaskas, and as Tony Jones suggested, the scoreboard here doing the right thing and covering up the time clock in the last 5 minutes of the play, so well done there.
3 on 1, that tackle.
From the ball up, it's Clark down to Edwards, whose kick was smothered. Peveril got one in the back and will take the free kick.
23-14, the free kick's in favour. 2 hands in the back in favour of the Adelaide Crows. They've been consistent with that adjudication all night. Plenty of in the backs, probably the most commonly paid one tonight.
Peveril inside 50 with the kick. It goes over the head of Hill. It's thumped away. Here's a chance for Reynolds. Going up down the one spot. He gets the ball eventually. Flicks it back. Essendon kick going forward from Bullen wasn't good enough. And the mark's been taken by Bickley.
Short to Edwards. In the back pocket. Another short one. Bickley.
A bit going off the ball between Ramanaskas and Hart too. And
been happening for a while, Ed.
Yeah.
Bigland's taken front on by Peveril. Hurd quickly away. Lucas kicks it back towards the wing. Coming hard, Massey. Waiting for him, Johnson. Massey did well. Got the hand pass away. Johnson smothered it effectively. But ricocheted across to Tawney. Taken down by Welsh. Wellman at close quarters to Bullen. He was pushed as he kicked. In goes Johnson. Well played. Back to Forster Knight. They're looking better at the moment. Forster Knight. Short. Lloyd's mark 60 metres out. And the Bombers enjoying their best passage the last 5 minutes in this match. Goes long down towards full forward. Perhaps no coincidence. Rashido's off the ground. Big fist at the back from Clark. Deep to the pocket. Bolton working overtime. Reels it in. How will the umpire call it? Not required. Down goes McGregor. Ramanaskas is over the football. We've got a ball up. Deep in the pocket. Last man up, Ramanaskas, like one of those mine shaft canaries. Thrown up about 10 metres from the boundary line. Clark tried to knock it forward. But certainly now there's an appetite for the job that hasn't been there most of the night from Essendon. Last man up this time, Barnard.
Clark gets the tap down to McLeod. It's going to come straight back in though. A chance now for Bullen. Bullen's kick is a good one out in front of Lord. It went over the head. Chance now for Hill. Tried to break the tackle. He gets it out to Wellman. A big kick for the Bombers. If he can kick this, there might still be a chance. And he has. Sean Wellman and Essendon kicked the last 3.
Three goals within a shootout on the bench. Don't want to flog an old horse, but gee, it is
a dead one.
Well, he's not dead. He'll be back. Don't worry about that. And maybe sooner rather than later would be a good idea. And there he is, as we speak. He's up out of the dugout. I don't even know whether he waited for Gary Ayres. He just said, that is enough. We'll get out here and arrest this rot that started. Because they are some sort of a chance to it.
They've got the last 3 for the last 5. Bickley out of the middle. Kicks down towards the attacking 50 then. Fletcher comes up. Their confidence is growing. Touched off the boot by Burns. Helped on its way then by Peveril. Close to the boundary line. McLeod taken out. It'll be thrown in. 57 seconds remaining in the term. The breeze blowing across the ground. That is the defensive wing out there. And those patrons brave enough to sit out there have had a lot of action at close quarters. Reaching over the top, Clark. Wellman ran into a dead end. Shirley gets a hand pass away. Massey back towards the boundary. And we chewed up about 6 seconds right there, maybe 10. Well, it was a bold gamble, and you'd have to say it backfired.
Thing is, with Rashido being off the ground,
this quarter's turned around.
Essendon have had 15 more possessions than the Adelaide Crows, so they're starting to win the ball and run it a little bit better as well.
Hill knocked it down. That ball not coming out. Clock continues to run, at least for the moment. Umpire McLaren to throw it up. They're consuming a lot of time there. The clock has just run on. Hill beaten by Clark, stolen by Peverill. Peverill from half back, kicks it up towards the wing. Can they get a late goal? Well, Ramanauska slipped over. Maybe with that slip went their chances. Fed back by Hart to Smart. Kicks it around the outer side. In best position, Wellman. It was knocked away with courage on the outer side by Stenglein. So the Crows down to 5 seconds. Deep inside their forward line, Biglands. About a second to go. The clock beats Welsh. So three-quarter time. Adelaide challenged for the first time. McGregor in that collision on the outer side. A couple of them came hard. In fact, it was Massey who came back and got his teammate there on the way through, hooking up in midair. And both of them slow to get up. 10-9-6-5. But the story in that term very much the injury to Wayne Carey.
Television's newest babe watch.
Woo, woo, woo!
Look at them run. There's plenty of booty and great prizes too. Oh, it's even got Larry Emder. The Price is Right. 5:30 weekdays on 9.
How do we rescue our home?
With Mitre 10 DIY deals like Omo washing powder value pack $47.95 plus a Click Jelly Bean extension lead $16.95 plus this Dorsey combo torch pack $13.95. All that adds up to 10 out of 10.
You can't beat 10 out of 10.
Mitre 10. Catalogue out now.
This ad is about nothing, because that's all you'll pay on furniture and electrical at Myer until July 2004. No deposit, no repayments, and no interest for 12 months when you spend $500 or more. Conditions and exclusions apply. See in store. Hurry, ends July 28.
Don't try this without new Garnier Fructis Anti-Dandruff Shampoo. Garnier Fructis with active fruit concentrate. Now tackles dandruff head on. It's proven. In just 3 washes, Garnier Fructis acts to eliminate dandruff. Not a trace of a flake. Garnier Fructis, for hair that shines with all its strength. And no more dandruff.
The famous Fletcher Jones quality sale is now on. A sale full of quality and very low prices, with big savings on menswear, from warm casuals to pure wool suits, and women's wear discounts on a wide selection of our latest shirts, pants and jackets. Fletcher Jones quality sale, now on.
Ruby is one of the world's rarest stones, and ruby is also July's birthstone. So right now, Shields are offering up to 50% off rubies and cultured rubies, as well as diamond jewellery. Like ruby rings from $59.95 with a free pair of ruby earrings, and Jag watches from $99, or these fabulous diamond rings from $299. A huge range of hand-picked rubies and diamonds from all over the world at value prices. Now that's simply irresistible. No hoo-ha, just rubies and diamonds.
This weekend, all our quilts are discounted, heavily discounted.
Winter weight goose down quilts. What do you pay? $200, $150, $130? Nah, this weekend you pay a ridiculous $49.95 singles, $59.95 doubles, $69.95 queens, $79.95 kings.
And it's not just quilts on sale.
Luxury flannel sheets for an amazing $19.95. Singles, doubles, queens, $19.95 each. This weekend, premium flannel sheets, $19.95. Oh, and $20 for the pillows, $8.95.
This ad is about nothing, because that's all you'll pay on furniture and electrical at Myer until July 2004. No deposit, no repayments, and no interest for 12 months when you spend $500 or more. Conditions and exclusions apply. See in store. Hurry, ends July 28.
They say life's a journey. But why lose the thrill along the way? Introducing the all-new Mazda 6. New SVT engine, new Active-Matic transmission, new everything. Feels like a sports car. Looks like a Mazda 6.
When the coach speaks, Adelaide listens. Join the growing number of people who get it first on 9. Straight from the inside. Make your appointment with Crows coach Gary Ayres. Every Monday, National 9 News at 6.
This AFL coverage proudly brought to you by the new Holden Caprice, Radio Rentals and Sky City Adelaide.
Give the Bombers a sniff at three-quarter time. They still trail by 28 points. It'll take some sort of a last quarter to win, but at least they showed a bit of fight. Let's go down to Tony Jones having a good look at that behind post, which has seen Wayne Carey go off on a stretcher.
Well, yes, this is the offending point post down here, and as suspected, as you said in the commentary there, that it certainly is a sharp edge, and this is where Carey's knee's gone into it. You can see there's still a little bit of blood there on the side there, and right through there, that is the edge of the post. So quite clearly what they might have to do as a result of this is just get the old plane out and give it a bit of a shave, and well, hopefully no one else suffers a similar fate, but he must have given it an awful whack because that has gone right through, as I say, to the post. Back to you, boys.
Good on you, Tony. I think we need to do more than get the plane out. I think we need to get 4 posts at each end out and stick some round ones in.
He's been watching those renovation shows.
This was the scoreboard message and got a huge ovation. Badly gashed kneecap. We saw that, no structural damage. So that's the good news from what is a very ordinary injury to Wayne Carey.
And that is a good service, too, to offer to their supporters, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Well done. Start of the final term, Friday night football. 69 plays 41. The Bombers finishing the third term with a flourish. Knocked down by Biglands. Head over the ball, Hurd tries to knock it Goldwood. Comes back towards Hill, off the ball, a bit of pushing and shoving. Meantime, it's flicked out of there. The player has penalised Barnard for a throw. Burton's got the free kick. He's been good inside the centre square. As for a torpedo, doesn't middle it. It wanders down towards the attacking 50. Loose at the back, forced tonight. Got it to Solomon. He didn't appear to have the football. Welsh knocked it out at close quarters. Lucas too close to Wellman. It was too hot. John Cock jumped in, tackled immediately by Solomon.
Also, with Carey going off the ground, that structural change, there was no pivoted centre-half forward, somebody bringing the ball to ground. McGregor's gone down there and they've plugged a few holes in the back line, Adelaide.
Give the tap out to Hill. McLeod trying to get out. Well, that's a throw as well.
Throw as well. Copy to it.
Great minds.
Here, please. You think like an umpire.
I was just saying, I'm in trouble. Maybe the umpire's in trouble, more to the point.
Thanks, Ken. Scotty, that's it. Very static ahead.
McVeigh goes forward looking for Lloyd. Been a good battle with Smart over the head of the packets. Edwards mopping up again as he goes to Hart at half-back flank. Hart looks up and sees a teammate. It's Welsh. He can run onto the ball. Did it beautifully. Runs up to about 75 from goal. The kick was magnificent. Ronnie Burns spilled it. Goes in a second time. That's holding the man. Surely he didn't have the ball. He was thrown out of the contest. No, says the umpire, will have a bounce. At forward 50 for the Crows. Adelaide have had 60 more disposals tonight in just over 3 and a bit quarters.
That's Ronnie all over, isn't it? He kicked the one from nowhere, and he'll cough up the easiest of chest marks.
60 more disposals. That's the equivalent of 6 good players.
And there's a high free kick here. There's a ruck, I think. Rashudo's the player who's the recipient.
So the rule will go back and take the shot at goal.
The other end of the ground, Tyson Edwards has spanked Damien Cubido in this game.
That slowed him down a bit too, that one.
Yeah, his cock's a bit red.
A fair whack to slow him down, I reckon.
Yes.
Don't shoot him. You'll only make him angry. Don't even call for it. He's having a ping.
His record at long range this season is most impressive. This will take a very good kick. Cross breeze. He'll kick from about 55. He kicks it a long way. He kicks it accurately. That is a wonderful effort.
How How do we rescue our home?
With Mitre 10 DIY deals like this Warrior cut-off saw, $149. Plus this Hella halogen heater, $44.95. Plus Right Grow potting mix at under $3. All that adds up to 10 out of 10.
And you can't beat 10 out of 10.
Mitre 10. Catalogue out now.
When did you last stop and think about your home insurance? Does yours compare with Amy? Don't just renew your current policy. Compare it with Amy's great deals first.
Lucky you're with Amy.
Adelaide's two big teams are bringing you one big offer. Yes, right now at Radio Rentals and HomeCo, you can bring it home interest-free. Save on TVs, DVDs and computers and pay no interest till 2006. Save on dining settings, lounges and recliners and pay no interest until 2006. Save on watches and fridges and pay no interest till 2006. Save on beds and bedding and pay no interest until 2006. But only at Radio Rentals and at HomeCo. Now that's twice as big!
So the margin out to 34 points again. And Rashudo off the ground for a while when the Bombers started to come back on the ground, and he has just taken control of the game again. Free kick for too high will go the way of Mark Johnson.
People ask sometimes about leadership, Eddie. That is as good an example as you'd like me to see. Goal needs to be kicked outside 50, win a hard footy. That's what leaders do.
It's a beauty, Mark Rashudo, no doubt about that. Kick from the Bombers to the forward 50, Richards again. He's kicked 2 goals tonight, Ted Richards. This is his 7th possession coming up.
Essendon have played 6 games at the Telstra Dome this year. You just wonder whether they needed time to get used to the bigger ground and the conditions, of course. And it's taken them a long time. They've fallen short when they've attacked. Their leads have gone wider into the deeper pockets. So maybe there's some mitigating circumstances.
Richards has kicked 3 goals tonight, sorry, as he comes in from 45. He's mongrelled that one. It's just fallen on the line. Oh, Hurd missed it. He backheeled it, in fact.
Eerie.
Oh, he took a Dave Gray at it.
And we've missed from 5 metres out the Bombers. Oh, there you go. How about that?
Fresh airing.
He backheeled it in the end.
Good
incredible.
block, that. Good block.
All right. So the margin back to 33 points, and I was just dumbfounded that Purdy would miss it from there.
McLeod, not a good kick. Out of the chest of Ramanauskas. It's coming back. 75-42. Centering kick. Will Solomon get there? No. Stengline stood his ground. Strong grab under the circumstances. Tough night. And the Crows so far too good. But Essendon trying harder now than at any stage in the match. Smart in the back pocket. Wide. Massey on the lead.
Gee, they run hard.
Back towards the middle, Bassett. Goes in that direction. Bassett pushing up from half-back. Goes towards half-forward. Clears Hurd. It's a good kick. McGregor.
That was the breakdown zone for the last 15 minutes of the third quarter. McGregor gets on the end of one.
Welsh.
Hands are great.
Well, someone, and I think it was a pro, Biglands, may have gotten the road of Fletcher, who was tracking Welsh, and suddenly Welsh slipped his marker by about 5 metres and virtually took the mark uncontested. Just watch it again. He gets caught up in traffic with his own man. His own man got in the road there, Hill.
Didn't have touch on him right from the start, the get-go. Just happy to play 5 metres in front and just loses him as he keeps looking over the shoulder.
What a performance in the rain. Scott Welsh going at number 6. It'll take a good kick. This is net. Caught on the breeze. Towards the opposite pocket, missed by Biglands. Laddams swings it back, hasn't got the carry. On the line, McGregor touched off the boots. Forster Knight got there in the nick of time. McGregor thought he was in.
Yep.
Now, this is Lloyd's one. Look at that. He missed it back here.
He fresh aired it.
He did, and Bolton missed it from 5 metres.
But that one there with McGregor, a natural forward, when he went for the quick little kick at the end, would have bought and deceived the backman and then just had an easy dribble over.
Bolton's miss was actually harder to do than kick the goal.
They kick it.
He dragged it back that far. Anyway, here come the Crows again. John Cock met as he took his kick. Just put him off a little bit. Lucas did well to get a hand on the ball. I didn't think he did well.
No, I reckon that bloke was unbelievable. He burned him off. And goal.
Have a look at that. Biglands kicks his second, and it's party time for the Crows at Amy Stadium.
I don't know how to spot a good used car, so I brought a mate along. So I just looked straight across the bonnet. Yes. And look for a Holden certified used vehicle. It means a comprehensive history check, a 100-point mechanical certification, and a 3-year, 175,000-kilometre warranty. Holden certified used vehicles. The sure sign of a good used Holden.
Shh. We're just here having a quiet beer. That's where you can drink, but you can't make any noise. I think that's what it is. It's either that or the beer's quiet. This one's very quiet, hasn't said a word all day. Although someone just said it's a very nice Carlton draft, and it's fresh from the brewery, you know. I think that was the nuts. They're complimentary. Aye. Shh.
Remarkable athlete. If you barrack for the Crows, it's cruise control. If you barrack for the Bombers, it's curse control. Little typo. Amazing what it can do. Back in the middle. Biglands hooks it down behind. Hurd. Oh, well done, Rashudo. Got a hand on the footy. Sliding in hard. Was Stengline, and Hurd is hurt. He was reaching back for that footy. It's the elbow. Reach back for the footy as Stengline was sliding in. Well,
just a hyperextension.
Two of the biggest names in the game in trouble tonight. Carey off the ground, badly gashed knee at best. Well, now Hurd. He doesn't show much pain either, but that is hurting.
Let's click back in.
He just wants a moment alone at the moment.
He was lucky he actually spun in the when he was hit there, which gave him a little bit of give.
Bullen inside the 50. Keep our eye on Hurd. Doesn't like to show weakness, but I think he's hurt. Down goes Lucas, held to him. Ball up, let's go down to the dock.
Yeah, that's as close to a dislocation without dislocating as you'll see, Dennis. He actually hyperextends it. The doctor's spoken to him, wants to get him off, but he wants to stay on, as you're saying. He doesn't want to show the pain.
Hill got the tap. Chance now for Solomon, trying to crash through. He's thrown to the ground. Lucas onto the left boot, a high up and under. Here comes Lloyd. Got the punch on the ball. Oh, don't tell me. Have a look at this bloke. He's just about had his arm broken off, and he's kicked the free goal. Well done, James Hurd. You're a star.
Yes, and we sing the praises of Mark Rashudo's leadership. That is another fine example. You can cut up a nice little videotape if you're doing one on leadership tonight, because that
Reid wants him off.
Some pretty exceptional courage to do that. And
people look at James Hurd and they say, nice character, isn't he well presented?
He's the toughest bloke in the comp.
He is as hard as nails, this dude.
Yep.
And the guys around, you know, close guys in footy that you speak to playing, and say, mate, he is no gentleman out there. He won't do anything real dirty, but he is no gentleman out there. He's hard at it.
Don't explode the myth.
Sorry.
On his knees, Rashudo trying to force it forward. Laddams did well across to Burton. Down towards half forward goes the high ball. John Cock was going back. McPhee's got it. McGregor tracking him. Welsh chips it up towards the wing. Wide of the mark, though. Rashudo once more. What a wonderful game he's played to Beckley. Beckley steps around a would-be tackler, and Bullen goes short to Laddams. He can break now. 70 metres from goal. Intended for Welsh. It doesn't get there. Behind the pack, Fletcher. Straight up, gained about 20 metres. In front, working hard, John Cock. Hurd once more. Bit of a fitness test there. Bullen crashes the pack. Putting the body in was John Cock. Ramanauskas came to meet him, and they fight a draw. Just under 12 minutes till full time. James Hurd now 18 possessions. He's averaging 20 a game this season. He averaged 24 back in 1996, his Brownlow year.
It hasn't been one of his great nights, to be honest. Hart and Stengline have done a good job, but he's shown a bit here.
Stung into action almost as Hurd kicks it with the outside of his boot, but look at that, picked off beautifully by Edwards, just ran straight at the ball. He kicks to the pocket, off hands. Here's Welsh, the danger man. Look at that for a pick-up. Beautiful stuff, the handball inside. Bickley couldn't crash his way through the pack. Johnson now squeezes it out to Wellman, who copped one right in the mush. Then kicked up to the half-forward or the wing position. Bassett comes out and he's kicked it straight out of bounds on the ball.
Well, you know what you're going to get from Nathan Bassett, don't you?
Yeah, no tricks, but he's good.
Yeah, he does the job.
He's got some courage too, Nathan Bassett.
And you've got to have blokes like that. in your team, you play forward of him, you know where it's going to go most times. Although that one wasn't anywhere near where you wanted it.
He'll celebrate game number 100 tonight with a very big win for his side as Rashudo to Hart, two of the old firm for this Crows side. Kicks into the centre of the ground. Pebble tries to run onto the ball. Ronnie Burns is there as well. Welsh over the top of it. Wellman bounces off his chest. Now he squeezes the handball out to McVeigh. Dancing in and out of trouble. Gets slung as he got his kick. Here's a chance for Bullock. Gets it over now to McVeigh. Essendon moving the ball forward out for Lloyd. It hits him on the bootstraps. He couldn't quite get to it in time. McGrath knocks it forward. Once again, Bullen squeezes the handball out. Here's a chance for McVeigh. He runs into space. Has he got a left foot? No, he hasn't. And he kicks it out of bounds on the full.
Just couldn't decide quick enough. Just could not get the thought process happening. We're going to take a shot at goal. He was looking for the dish off early.
Here's one stat that the Bombers are leading in. Clangers, 46-26.
Yeah, they missed the target a fair bit.
Tony comes away. Well played by Bassett. Set it up to his own advantage and kicks it up towards the wing. Hurd knocks it across. Well played to Johnson. He thought that out pretty well. Johnson in trouble, taken high. Get the free kick right at the interchange gates. 82 plays 48.
Damien Cubido's gone to the bench again. I just thought 3 times this quarter Tyson Edwards has led him to the ball. He's lost patience with him tonight.
Edwards has been terrific,
hasn't he?
Looking for Lloyd, close to the boundary line. McGrath, in fact, he crossed the boundary line. It will be thrown in.
What do you do, Gary? Do you put Cubido back on and say, right, Edwards has spanked you all night. In the last 10 minutes, I want to see you lead him to the ball, because you've got to start somewhere, because he's just been led around by the nose tonight.
I don't think he's shown enough tonight to warrant finishing on the ground, Dermot, to be perfectly frank with you.
Another ball up.
As Bode leaves the arena and coming back on is James Begley. Ball spills out. Hill tries to get the kick away. Stam off his shin. And Burton marks at defensive 50. So 9.5 minutes left in this game. It's going to be a good win for the Crows at home. Bombers have missed out on the treble again. Hurd dragged off the ball. Bickley hard at it as always. The ball still alive. Now we'll have a bounce just inside the 50.
Pretty impressive, Adelaide, though. Pretty impressive performance tonight. Hard, organised, tough. They are in pretty good nick.
34 points the difference. Bombers have laid the most tackles of any side this season with 71 tonight, but that's because they've been chasing a fair bit of tail.
Just pose the question, can Adelaide get a forward line, a big forward line up in a hurry, though, without Carey might miss one?
Got Perry and Stevens up their sleeve. Pretty important players.
Are they? How long was Perry?
Perry's just a one-matcher.
One-matcher, so he'll at least give them a focal target up there, a focal point to bomb into. Can take a grab.
They're the top 5, 4 of them. Rashudo, Burton, Bickley, McLeod for the Crows.
Weren't easy possessions either, Ed.
Rashudo's 25, includes 6 clearances, 3 inside 50s, 4 rebound 50s, 5 tackles throw in there as well, and a goal from 55 metres with a wet ball. Not a bad night. 13 in the first quarter, by the way.
And about 30 minutes of pure headbutting.
Yep. The only time the Bombers were in the game was when he was sitting on the pine.
Another silly free kick here off the footy against Paul Barnard.
And Burton will take the free kick from defensive 50. Transfers play with 8 minutes and 10 seconds on the clock.
There's Begley. Long kick towards the outer side. 2-on-1 out there. Well done by Smart. But Bassett not quite on the same page. He was pushed in the back and or high. Advantage is paid. So Smart continues on down the ground. 55 metres out. Goes looking for Welsh. Oh, well played, Fletcher. Got back and angled it across the line. All he could do. So the margin out to 35 points now. It's been a contest since the major break. At half-time, it was 33 points the Crows' way. Big pack at the drop. In front, McPhee. Worked off the line of the football by Rashudo. Taken front on by Johnson. And the ball up.
Pay money to see that one go full distance. Johnson and Rashudo.
Barnard off after the indiscretion.
Biglands with Burton leaping high. Bickley kicks inside the 50. Fletcher fumbled. Burns tunneled it. Welsh turns around and kicks his 20. The biggest haul of his career.
How do we rescue our home?
Mitre 10 DIY deals like Omo washing powder value pack, $47.95, plus a Click Jelly Bean extension lead, $16.95, plus this Dorsey combo torch pack, $13.95. All that adds up to 10 out of 10.
You can't beat 10 out of 10.
Mitre 10, catalogue out now.
When did you last stop and think about the price of your car insurance? Does yours compare with Amy? Don't just renew your current policy. Compare it with Amy's prices first.
Lucky you're with Amy.
Look at this, Ronnie Burns. Beautifully done. Tapped it along the ground, so it is fair and legal. And Welsh says, thank you, that's the easiest one of the night. He's kicked 6 goals too, Welsh, and one of them we think was a goal. Well, we don't think it was a goal. So what a night it's been for Scott Welsh. What a night for the Crows. They lead by 40 points. 41 points, in fact. Edwards gets the free kick. Now, inside 7 minutes here, 41 points can blow out the 10 goals very quickly.
Yep, 72 more possessions than Essendon they've had. 36 of them have been handballs. They've had 78 handball receives on a wet evening to Essendon's paltry 41.
It is cold, it is wet, it is windy. And one of the teams out there, they feel no cold at all. This mob. McGregor has it at half-forward flank. Points it inside 50. Out comes Welsh again. And it's the other one who takes the mark, Andrew Welsh, for the Bombers.
Just looked off the pace tonight, Fletch, apart from that last spoil.
Just seems injured. Yeah, that was the point I was trying to make earlier in the night. It just doesn't look good.
Forced tonight. Chips it towards the wing. Johnson. Can't take the mark. It's out of bounds.
I've seen him play better games too, Dennis. He's only had the 8 possessions mark.
They missed Jason Johnson tonight, Dennis, didn't they?
Absolutely. Tailor-made for him tonight to go one-on-one perhaps with Rashudo. You look back over the season so far, he is their Rashudo. Burton hurriedly down towards half-forward. McPhee couldn't control it. Stenglein, that was ambitious. Took them on, taken down, bit lucky.
Bit of a reality check for the Bombers tonight, I think. Their last 2 wins against Geelong and St Kilda may have flattered them. They haven't been in good touch at all, the Cats and the Saints. And just come over here up against a very hard, committed unit, professional side, and they've just come up short. Johnson doesn't help, sure, but they've been pretty disappointing tonight.
Mark Johnson still battling after that one, having got the involuntary kick moments ago. We've got a ball up on the other side wing, 5.5 minutes to go.
What do you do, Gary? If you're Sheedy, what do you do with this team? If they get the reality check, do you just accept it, or do you try and find a few things out with 5 minutes to go?
Oh, damn, I wouldn't be telling Kevin Sheedy. There's enough talent in the side, but I think I've been disappointed tonight has been their discipline. They've given away too many free kicks that probably make the bloke feel a little bit better as he gives them, but it shows to me they're not thinking about the team.
Doesn't get any easier. The Bombers play Brisbane next week at Telstra Dome on Saturday night.
Oh, they'll be coming off a loss.
Bolton knocked it down. Hurd taken down. Kick forward by Burton towards half-forward. Coming hard, McPhee. In the opposite direction, McLeod almost. Welsh did well. Forced the night. Goes long down towards half-forward. Awkward kick. Awkward bounce. Bassett did well to Burton. Uncharacteristic fumble, but he's going to get the free kick. Lloyd lost sight of the footy and took him high.
You can't push him in the head, Matty.
Well, they're up to 29 free kicks, the Crows. That's their receipt. I reckon 30 free kicks in this era would be like the double century in cricket.
You don't see much.
Look at the US Coast Eagles got 4 for a game. These blocks are up to 30 almost. Run to receive.
The Crows looking for that elusive 30th free kick. Over the line. They might get one there.
Salute the Adelaide crowd.
Look at him go. Dermot didn't squirrel you there. Throw in. Forward 50. 4 minutes and 4 seconds left, and this will be the longest 4 minutes for a long time for the Bombers. But they can't win away from home. They're like Guinness Doom, aren't they?
Yeah, they don't travel well.
At all. A kick from Fletcher. Beautiful mark taken there by Solo.
Back, please. Thank you.
So
Had 7 possessions first quarter, Ed Solomon. He's up to 12 now, so obviously gone very quiet since that first break.
Yeah, he's not on his own doing that.
No.
Johnson tries hard over the line and out of bounds. And have another throw, and it's 41 points the difference. This is a beautiful mark by Dean Solomon. Throw in, we're at half-forward flank. The game's goals, Matthew! Huge night for Scott Welsh. 6 goals, 2. As we said, he's probably ripped off one as well. Bickley squeezes the kick out. Bassett with a beautiful hand. Look at that. It sits nicely from McLeod. And away they go.
And he'll go.
Look at the champion. Runs on his own runs. And he ran too far.
It's a bit too far.
No complaint from McLeod on that occasion. And Scotty Lucas.
15 paces.
One of the few times that Scott Lucas will get a free kick for running down McLeod, you would have thought. A kick to Reynolds at half-forward flank.
Inside the 50 goes the kick. Lloyd came up, couldn't get to the footy. Hacked out of there by Smart towards the outer side. Leading back is Bolton. Will it stay in for him? Well, he tries to keep it in. Flicks it along the line. McPhee goes back to Bolton, has to stretch and is marked. McPhee goes back to Bolton, has to stretch and is marked. Only about 35 metres out.
Mark Bickley's had another good night for an old bloke. He's getting on in years. He's won plenty of footy. He's got a punt rule.
Hey. Uppy's got one.
Get him off.
Umpire McInerney. He's a vampire.
What happened there?
Well, he might have taken the crowd's advice to swallow his whistle.
Meanwhile, back at the match, Bolton tried to play on.
He's got RSI at the whistle.
This is getting weird. 2.5 minutes out.
Blowing a valve.
He's going off. Is he? No, he's been changed to the back pocket.
Clark goes after the footy.
He's been rested.
That's good as his mouth, that, isn't it? He goes to kick around the outer side. McPhee drops it. Keeps it in. And gets the handball away. Johnson takes on a would-be tackler and goes from 50 long towards full forward. Lloyd at the back. Didn't get to him. Pushed across the line. Interesting, talking about Andrew McLeod. He was the man last seen closest to that umpire. He copped a week for charging Matthew Lloyd, round 4 last season. Of course, that had repercussions later in the year.
In all seriousness, though, Shane McInerney, I mean, that's free-flowing blood, and very rarely do you find umpires make contact with players, but it does happen. What a fit his lip.
It does when they wear the white gear, that's for sure. Doom, you mentioned that the West Coast Eagles only got 4 that day. They also had the most in round 1. 30 is the record.
Oh, we're pressing
4. So we're right on the edge, right on the verge of a record tonight, with Adelaide on 29. Oh, here comes the trainer out now. Dr. Peter Larkins, have you got something? Maybe some hemorrhoid cream.
Yeah, there's no reason Ed why he shouldn't get the same treatment that a player gets. But this year they're allowed to fix him on the field. Looks like he's doing the same.
We got it. We've got the free kick. There's the 30. We've equalled the record for the year. Bradman-esque. With a minute 45, can we break the record as Bowes marks in the back half-back flank?
That's my first witness of a double ton, I think, in umpiring terms.
Oh, they'll sleep well tonight, the umpires.
So what's the deal with the umpire? We assume because he's not in contact with players that perhaps he stays out there, but he does handle the football, doesn't he? Yep.
He did seem to wash away pretty quickly, so it might have been superficial.
Welsh up the ground in defence, taking a kick that time. Bolton, here's the other Welsh, over the shoulder, in hope. Laddams got it away. Begley, well tackled. McPhee did well, heard the voice. McGrath, back to Welsh. From half-back towards the wing. Big claim at the back. Tawney almost reeled it in. Burton, like his game, breaks away. Oh!
There's the free kick.
Yes, the record. That is silly. That will be a report. Why?
Call you for striking, Dustin, okay? Dustin, I don't care, I'm reporting you for striking.
Now there's 50 seconds left in the game and they're getting flogged.
It sums up the night. And the Bombers, they've been... Well, I said that in the third quarter, Gary.
Reporting you for striking, you okay? Okay,
Dustin Fletcher.
Yeah, okay.
I don't think there's much in that. I mean, it's clumsy and it's stupid to do it right now. I don't know if he's made great contact, but it's irresponsible as a senior player.
I think that arm is looking like Rashido's nose.
They're playing Brisbane next week. 50 seconds left on the clock. 40 points down.
Says a lot. But he just looked like he was not right tonight. He was cranky. And the one he put on Brett Biglands, which gave a free kick,
back into the centre of the ground. There's Wayne Carey on screen.
Self-indulgent nonsense again. It's just make yourself feel good, get a bit of frustration out, don't worry about the team.
Big hit for Rashudo.
And people say, Gary, that we're harsh on Essendon. I know my son is an Essendon supporter. He gets into me all the time. But, I mean, they bring it upon themselves. Why, with less than a minute to go, would you bother?
You can only comment on what you see, and they have been undisciplined, giving away solid free kicks. And this thing now, they got Brisbane next week. He's a critical part of the team. He puts it in jeopardy.
Well, the coach has said it.
Well, exactly.
It's not as if it's us. I mean, as you said, we're only saying what's happening. But with 50 seconds on the clock.
We've still got 30 seconds to absolutely pulverise that record.
Well, the record's at 31. And as we saw, good to see Wayne Carey back out with that knee stretched up, bandaged up as Lloyd gets it out. Forced tonight on the left boot. That wide. 10 seconds and counting. And the Bombers will just want this to finish as quickly as possible. 7 seconds left on the clock. We have a throw-in just outside the Bombers attacking 50. It's been a sorry night for the Bombers tonight. Have a look at this. This is the angle that is the main one, and
don't know what part of it. Not much in it, really.
Yeah, look, from that angle, he's probably got a case to answer. Oh, I'd let him on.
Solomon's kick forward, and that's it. And James Hird sums it up. Spits the mouth guard out, shakes hands, and says, let's get out of here, because the Adelaide Crows have celebrated a magnificent victory tonight. They have defeated the Bombers by 41 points. 13-12-90, Essendon 7-7-49 in front of 41,758. The big winner tonight was Scott Welsh with a career-high 6 goals too, and Brett Bigland's kicked 2 goals as well. For Essendon, 3 goals for Ted Richards was the best for the Bombers on a very poor night, but has also seen them have Cupido and Fletcher both reported on what would you'd have to say were silly reports.
Absolutely. There's no need for either of them, let's say that. I mean, the tribunal will be the judge, but capped off a terribly disappointing night for Damien Cupido. Didn't fire a shot, badly beaten by Tyson Edwards, and then Dustin Fletcher, who we commented on throughout the course of the evening, wasn't great. But take nothing away from these blokes. They set the scene in the first quarter, magnificently led by the captain, Mark Rashudo, in the conditions. And they had a fantastic finisher in Scott Welsh, and he's with Tony Jones.
Yeah, good on you. Thanks for that, Gary. Well, Scotty, it wasn't much of a night weather-wise, but you were running hot.
Yeah, it was pretty cold and pretty windy night, but we knew Essendon were going to come out here pretty fiery. It's all a performance sort of game, and we were just up to the challenge.
6 goals, you'd have to be happy with that.
Yeah, I think Ronnie looked after me a bit there, but yeah, it's good to get goals and get back into good form.
As I say, 6 goals could have quite easily been 7, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, that's what you know.
But without getting in trouble, I mean, from just about every other vantage point in the stadium, bar the bloke in the white coat behind the goals, it looked like a goal.
Yeah, well, I thought it was, but you can't argue with the umpires.
No. And Wayne Carey also just so important around that forward line tonight.
Yeah, his presence around centre forward is just great. You've got little places hanging around his feet and just giving a few goals. So, it's great to see that he's all right and he's little cut.
Yeah, good on you. All right, well done on a great night.
Thanks, Tom.
So Scott Welsh keeping a lid on things down there after kicking 6 goals too, and well, good on him. He's had a fantastic night. There's Wayne Carey, as we can see, with the knee bandaged up there.
His leg chopped off, and Scott Welsh said, "Don't have a little cut."
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, it might be a little cut, but there'll be a fair bit said about it, and a bit of investigation into what's going on. No doubt about that.
Not that little either.
No, it ain't that little.
It's not that little. There's a little canyon over the top of his knee.
Yeah, it is. He's pointing it there with his finger, I think. Carey, by the way, was in fantastic form. 8 disposals, 3 marks, 3 inside 50s, 5 tackles. But did a lot of the hard bullocking work and knocking out and just little taps here and there and running blokes under the ball and knocking it front and square.
8 Carey possessions at centre-half forward in the last 2 weeks have been worth 15 or 16. They're constructive. They bring other players into the game, and almost immediately the next possession on gets a shot at goals, or better, a goal.
Upside for Essendon, of course, was James Hird. It looked like he might have had a bad elbow injury. Was okay. Snapped back into possession pretty well. And Scott Bassett gets to lead the Crows off the ground in his 100th game, as the Crows have won by 41 points. A very good win. Nathan Bassett, brother, from Scott Bassett. My apologies there. Nathan Bassett. His brother Scott, of course. So well done to Nathan Bassett.
He's a bit
Fantastic
embarrassed.
career so far. Yeah, he is.
He's a
Originally
good
from
player,
Norwood.
isn't he?
Get off, quick, run. I'm getting off. He's kicked 18 career goals. Traded by Melbourne in 97 draft. We'll take a break. We'll come back to wrap up for Holden, Dermot Brereton, Gary Lyon. Adelaide 13-12-90, Essendon 7-7-49, and for the moment...
The diet story you'd be mad to miss.
My breasts were this big.
Grilling the world's top diet gurus. And little Tom Tennant. Just look at him now.
I think I look pretty cute.
60 Minutes, Sunday.
Fantastic. Shall we call him now? Sophie, I've got the winner of the competition. There's his number. Oh, he's cute.
Oh, it's engaged.
Don't miss important calls when you're on the internet. Be online and use your phone at the same time. For frustration-free internet, join iPrimus Broadband.
Adelaide's two big teams are bringing you one big offer. Yes, right now at Radio Rentals and HomeCo, you can bring it home interest-free. Save on TVs, DVDs and computers and pay no interest till 2006. Save on dining settings, lounges and recliners and pay no interest until
Right up South Australia, where the mighty Adelaide grows. We're courageous, stronger, faster, and respected by our foes. Admiration of the nation and determination shows. We're the pride of South Australia, where the mighty Adelaide grows.
And well may they enjoy that, the Adelaide Crows, because they were the pride of South Australia tonight. They're on top of the ladder. Of course, everyone else has got a game in hand, bar the Bombers. 18 points at quarter time, 33 at the half. The Bombers at least won the third quarter by 5 points, but then it got smacked in the final term as the Crows ran out winners by 41 points. It was a big win for the Adelaide Crows, and Tony Jones is with the man who made it his night tonight, the skipper, the Roo, Mark Rasciuto.
Well, Mark, congratulations. Nice to get in the warmth at the moment, but pretty emphatic win.
Yeah, it was a good win. I thought Essendon were in really good form the last 2 weeks and knew it was going to be a tough game. So to nearly double their score tonight was a big effort in those conditions.
I was going to say that, you know, they had a pretty horrendous record in terms of playing outside of Victoria, but it's still Essendon, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, and they were playing for a final spot. So I guess the conditions helped us a bit. We've played in it a bit the last few weeks, and they probably don't get too much chance to play in it being at Telstra. So it was an opportunity that we took full grasp of.
And you were out of the blocks early, I think, rattling up something like 13 possessions in that first quarter.
Yeah, well, I didn't know that, but I knew I had a bit of it. But the boys played well. A few blokes had jobs tonight, and I think they did them pretty well. And we're probably lucky that Jason Johnson pulled out. He's been probably their best player this year. So, as I said, we took the opportunity well.
You came off for a bit of a rest in the third quarter, and they banged a couple through Essendon. Whose call was it to come back on, yours or the coach's?
I got the call to come off, and I got the call to go back on from the coach. So, yeah, that was no worries. I needed to have a spell, but we knew that they'd come out after half-time at some stage and have a rally because they were playing for their season. So, yeah, they did that and put a bit of pressure on us, but we got on top of them again, which was good.
Well done.
Thank you.
Speaks well, Mark Rasciuto, and I tell you what, there's some people out there who are suggesting he's a big smoky for Brownlow medal votes, and I reckon there's 3 tonight on top of whatever he's got up until this stage. So just a good omen bit.
He's right under the umpire's nose too, because he gets right in, he gets the ball out, and then he's just dynamic the way he gets the kicks and kicks long goals.
It's the other thing he does, he doesn't handball often, Ed, and kicks it a long way, and that is something I reckon that sticks in the eyes. A lot of those little handballs end up 35 touches for blokes. They don't see half of them.
And big tackles. He does all the hard things in football. No doubt about it. All right, well, another bloke who's done very well to get to 100 games tonight. He led the Crows off the ground, and that's Nathan Bassett. He's down there with Tony Jones.
Nathan, well done on the ton.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it was a tough night, but the boys played well and we had a good win.
They came back, didn't they, Essendon? It was a bit hairy there for a while, and I guess in a way you lost momentum when Wayne went off, and also Mark, and
suddenly it was like, not panic stations, but it sparked you back into action. Yeah, look, they're a good side, and we expect them to fight back at some stage, which they did. You know, the crowd went a bit quiet, and I think we were a bit shell-shocked for a while when Wayne went down, but, you know, it was good. It's good that he's all right, and we got over the line pretty well in the end. You're playing with amazing confidence, as in the team in general. Would that be at an all-season high, do you think, your confidence at the moment? Yeah, not sure. I mean, we played well tonight. We didn't play that great last week. You know, same old adage, one game at a time, and you know, it was a good performance tonight, and hopefully we'll play well again next week. Well, next week, Freo over at the House of Pain, and I think you thumped them by 56 points in round one, so a repeat performance would be nice for you, bloke. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be quite that easy. Freo's been playing good footy, and I don't think they've lost too many times over there this year, so it's going to be a tough game, but it's one that we believe we can win. All right, well, good luck for your 101. No worries, thanks.
Good on you, Tony. Tony Jones here with Nathan Bassett, and, well, may he say they feel pretty confident because they're playing excellent football at the moment. Of course, the one sad note was Wayne Carey injuring that knee. There's the Bombers. Plenty of sour notes down there tonight. And more than anything, I think, is the report of Cupido for rough play against Tyson Edwards. And, of course, Dustin Fletcher in the last 50 seconds of the game for striking Brett Burton. As the Crows go through their stretches, let's go back down to Tony Jones. He's with the coach, Gary Ayres.
Yeah, and flying high at the moment, Eddie, that's for sure. Gary, we spoke before the game about injuries and suspension sort of depleting your forward line a bit, but you wouldn't have known tonight the way they responded.
Oh, they've been pretty good all year, Tony, really. Like, for probably half the year, we've had 2 or possibly 3 of our, what I call major strike force weapons in the forward line, and the guys have been able to butter up and fill some holes when needed, so I think that's a good thing to have, and the guys are pretty keen to keep in the side because we're getting our injury list back to reasonably small. Touch wood, hopefully that continues, and I think the guys desperately want to stay in the senior 22, so the pressure's coming from within.
Can we get a bit of a feel as to what goes on in the box, like when a guy like Wayne Carey goes down, he's just laying there, and then it becomes apparent it's a knee injury. Are you keeping tabs on that as a coach, or do you just have to follow the rest of the game and sort of like get information later, or do you just down tools and just find out what's happening with him?
Oh, no, the guys are pretty good, actually. We've got a good system that as soon as they know, they let us know via the bench, and, of course, then that comes up through to the box. So all we heard was that it was a knee injury, so obviously you don't want to have the worst happen, so to speak, and then when it came back pretty quickly that he just gashed it, well, everything seemed to be pretty reasonable.
Here's Gary Lyon. Congratulations. It was a terrific win right from the word go. Your structure looked terrific, particularly up forward. Welsh had a night out, of course, but with Carey there, John Cock and Ronnie Burns around the mark, it looked dangerous every time you went forward.
Yeah, I thought so, Gary, and I think with the conditions too being pretty blustery and squally, and with perhaps the thought of rain as well, I was pretty pleased that, in a way, that Ian didn't end up playing, because at least we could go in with probably 5 mediums and 1 sort of tall in Wayne, and Scotty Welsh just works extremely hard, and the other guys certainly complemented each other with their work rate. Even someone like John Cock didn't get it on the scoreboard, but he certainly, from a defensive pressure point of view, I thought he was terrific. And if you're going to play a small forward line, that's what you need on a night like tonight.
Yeah, for sure. And the longer Wayne plays, I guess John Cock and Burns and the like, they'll start to realise that he's going to be a pretty good provider for them. Other positives, and there were heaps of them throughout the night, was the form of Brett Burton up around the wing, has been great since coming back from injury. And he just led you so very well when it was tough in that middle second to third quarter. He just kept getting the footy and gave plenty of drive.
Yeah, that's true, and I think what Brett's done in the last 5 weeks, Gary, is just show a little bit of control and maturity, and you know, he's really been around the mark now for probably 4 or 5 years, and I think he just needs to show that maturity and calmness when he gets the ball, and that's a credit to him. And we've certainly had some really good performances across the wings in the last month, which I think just helps take the heat off the midfield a bit as well.
And Gary, Brett Burton, you've reinvented him, haven't you? He's had another 30 possessions tonight. I think he's averaging just on 31 or just under 31 possessions for the last month. He's playing great football.
Yeah, he is, Eddie, and look, he's playing pretty smart footy at the moment too, and the second quarter and third quarter was all about patience and perseverance and just the persistence, because everyone knew how much was on the line for both clubs. And you know, the guys that played out there tonight, and especially our defence too, I thought they really played extremely good control footy. You know, Nigel Smart on Matthew Lloyd, Kenny McGregor on Lucas, Tyson Edwards on Cupido, they were all matchups. Even Benny Hart on Hurd in the first half, I thought, went our way. So they were all pivotal matchups in the course of the game.
One final one for you, Gary. Just the official injury on Wayne Carey's knee, and a supplementary question, if you like. Time to get rid of the square goalpost?
Yeah, that mate will get those very big paddings anyway. But With Wayne, I think he's just got about a dozen stitches in the kneecap, mate, so I haven't spoken to the docs as yet at this particular point in time, but it's obviously opened up the knee a little bit, but how much as far as what happens next week? We've got 9 days, so with a bit of luck, hopefully he'll be right to play Fremantle next week.
Just on the goalposts, they've always been square here for some reason. They're round from memory everywhere else, aren't they, the goalposts?
Yeah, they are, mate, and maybe we need those ones that Jason Ackermanis hit up in Brisbane a couple of weeks ago, the real big fat ones.
Well, they want the big mattress around the bottom of them.
Exactly right, mate.
Good on you, Gary. Congratulations, mate. The Crows going great guns at the moment, and thanks, as always, for joining us on Friday Night Football.
Cheers, Eddie. Thanks,
Good on you, mate. Gary Ayres, one of the gentlemen and superstars of the game and coaching beautifully at the moment. Thought he coached very well tonight as well. Not that it matters too much what I think, but the way he put the Essendon forward line right out of business, just opened up that forward line, took Lloyd and Hurd and all of those other guys down to the defence, was fantastic. Gary, you're the expert, though, so give us your votes for the Lou Richards medal.
Sincerity as I hear Dermot Brereton giggling and chuckling over there in the corner. Mark Rashudo was the best player on the ground. Scott Welsh was, well, 6 goals in those conditions, in any conditions, is a great return. But Burton we've spoken about. And Tyson Edwards, well, he's a bit of a favourite of mine, but he played a terrific job
Mark Bickley
on Damien Cooper. I mean, Mark Bickley was unlucky, but Nigel Smart, Dermot, was throwing up as well for his job on Matthew Lloyd. But
Ran him up the ground.
Yeah, I thought Tyson Edwards was a rock down there, and you said it, Eddie. I'm the expert. You're the commentator. Give him
All right, well, let's have a look what he wins. The Holden Player of the Year will drive away in the all-new SS Commodore. Key features the powerful V8 Holden engine, 4-speed automatic transmission, in-dash CD player, as well as an ABS and sports suspension. It's all there. Tune in to the premier Sunday footy show. That is Gary Lyons' Sunday footy show every week to get all the votes for the Lou Richards medal and that magnificent Commodore. Gary.
Eddie's a kid. You're throwing to me.
We'll be back right after this with Doc Larkins.
Points for some margin.
Just letting you know who's the boss around here, baby. We'll be back right after this with Doc Larkins for a full update on that knee injury to Wayne Carey and also the arm injury to James Hurd. This is Friday Night Football, AFL
on 9.
On 9 Sunday football, it's Brisbane and Hawthorn live at 12:30. Then the Power head east on a demolition mission. Port Adelaide, the Bulldogs live 1:30 Sunday.
Fantastic. Shall we call him now? Sophie, I've got the winner of the competition. There's his number. Oh, he's cute.
Oh, it's engaged.
Don't miss important calls when you're on the internet. Be online and use your phone at the same time. For frustration-free internet, join iPrimus Broadband.
Adelaide's 2 big teams are bringing you one big offer. Yes, right now at Radio Rentals and HomeCo, you can bring it home interest-free. Save on TVs, DVDs and computers and pay no interest till 2006. Save on dining settings, lounges and recliners and pay no interest until 2006. Save on washers and fridges and pay no interest till 2006. Save on beds and bedding and pay no interest until 2006. But only at Radio Rentals and HomeCo. Now that's twice as big.
When did you last stop and think about the price of your home insurance? Does yours compare with Amy? Don't just renew your current policy. Compare it with Amy's prices first.
Lucky you're with Amy. How do we rescue our home?
With Mitre 10 DIY deals like this Warrior cut-off saw, $149. Plus this Hella halogen heater, $44.95. Plus Right Grow potting mix at under $3. All that adds up to 10 out of 10.
And you can't beat 10 out of 10.
Mitre 10. Catalogue out now.
All the action is at Sky City Adelaide this month with over 30 grand in cash and prizes to be won.
Crime in our schools. Not even security cameras are safe from thieves.
A series of attacks that we seem to have been having after dark.
Tomorrow at 6, a growing suburban dilemma.
We really don't want to turn the place into a fortress.
Coming up on Nightline, 5 arrested as police rescue a kidnapped Sydney businessman. And cancer shock for teenage pop star Delta Goodrem. That's next.
Welcome back. Final scores. The Adelaide Crows victorious over Essendon by 41 points. The Bombers just can't buy a win away from Victoria in the last couple of years. So a huge win by the Adelaide Crows. Let's go down to Doc Larkins now. And Pete, it's a big story. 12 stitches, we're told, from Gary Ayres in the knee of Wayne Carey. Now, how significant an injury is that?
Well, there's more to that, of course, Ed. And certainly we saw, not content with knocking over Adelaide defenders, he had to try and knock over the post. They got a big laceration over the front of the kneecap. We've heard 12 stitches in that. Remember early in the season, Ed, Wayne was having the knee aspirated, having fluid drained off it regularly. He had an arthroscope after round 7 on the same knee for damage behind the kneecap. So not out of the woods yet, because he's actually really crunched the kneecap into the woodwork again on the goalpost, and he will have bruising behind the kneecap, so they're going to evaluate him tomorrow and just to see whether or not he gets that swelling again. But we do know it did trouble him early on in the year, and eventually he had an arthroscope after round 7, as we know. So
Pete, sorry, mate, just on this one, the stitches, 12 stitches, how easy are they to split? I mean, 12 stitches, it seems to be an awful lot, and it looks like a deep cut.
It's right over the fulcrum point of the front of the knee, Ed, because when you're bending the knee, of course, right at the centre of the kneecap, every time you bend the knee any angle, you're pulling the skin apart, so it's a slow area to heal as well. But look, if he keeps the knee straight, that won't be an issue. I'm sorry, I didn't see that coming.
No, it's a bit hard, Pete. You have to have eyes in the back of your head. But feel free to give him a backhander.
The derm is supposed to call, you know, you're hot.
Oh,
anyway, but
tell those blokes to go home, will you?
He didn't even break stride. But said, look, it'll heal up, and if it's just the skin, but as I said, just remembering that that's the same knee he's had trouble with all year with the swelling and the arthroscope. Of course, the other one, James heard in the 4th quarter, gee, look, this looked like it was going to be worse. He slides in, Tyson Stengline comes in, and I think what saved him, he hyperextends the elbow, but what saved him was that the actual arm was able to slide a little bit on the wet surface. So he will have stretched the ligaments. He did play on, and he didn't seem to favour it too much. So you might expect that it wasn't too much. But, gee, I think Essendon will be having a very close look at James Hurd's elbow tomorrow just to make sure he hasn't got a serious injury out of that. But it looks like it won't be too bad other than a bit of a stretch.
But just on Carey again, how many weeks do you think he'll miss with that?
Look, it wouldn't surprise me if he misses 1 or 2, Ed, simply because I reckon the knee will swell because of that history he's had with the cartilage behind the kneecap being damaged previously. And when you whack the kneecap like that, even in a healthy knee, you expect it to swell up for a few days and miss a week or 2. So he's already got a history with the same knee.
Pete, we've just found another one here. Just have a good look at this one, an injury that happened late in the game. Just tell us what happened here.
Ed, I'm assuming that it was just late in and it was just sort of a slow reflex from a player who's been out of the game for too long.
Well, he popped an eyeball.
And did not break stride. That is why he is an Olympian.
I tell you what, in Melbourne, he's got an adoring crowd behind him of 40 or 50 people. Here, they got footies chucking them at him.
Yeah, he's an Olympian.
Tony Jones, he's a shocker, isn't he?
Well done, Peter. I bet you your mum sitting home in Geelong tonight wouldn't have thought her son, the Olympian, who studied to be a doctor, he's been the president of the Sports Medicine Association, he's getting footballs bounced off his skull.
But didn't flinch, I hope, Ed.
No, you didn't at all, Pete. You did well.
Show the opposition.
Exactly. You want to get down to Geelong and get a game then, mate. Let's have a look now at the... I wasn't having to go at the Cats. Yes, you were. Oh, okay. Here's the ladder. The Crows have gone to the top, but of course everyone else has got a game bar the Bombers, who are now 2 points, and with the Kangaroos a game in hand, could be 6 points outside the 8 if the Kangaroos, and of course if Collingwood win going forward. They'll certainly... Fremantle-Collingwood game becomes massively significant tomorrow. Now, particularly for Collingwood, if the Pies can win, they can really jump up with a percentage and get away from Essendon in 9th position. It also gives Hawthorn now the chance to go past the Bombers into that spot and be the contender to make the 8. So, plenty of big games yet to come. Boy, are they big, let me tell you. How big, Gary?
Massive, Edward. On the MCG tomorrow, your boys are up against the Freo Dockers. A bit going on between the rival camps, so that'll be interesting. Massive.
One way.
Richmond, last chance. If they get beaten there, they'll pull down the punt road over. West Coast take on Carlton. Pretty one-sided, you'd think. Sydney up there against St Kilda should win on Sunday. The Brizzy Lions take on Hawthorn.
Kangas and Melbourne will be a tight one, and you wouldn't expect Port Adelaide to drop another game against a team towards the bottom end of the
Look at this. The Sunday Footy Show ratings, I tell you what, have gone off the Richter scale. Congratulations, Gary. You've gone from walled lollies to chocolates with this show. It's magnificent. And look at the lineup of guests.
Yes, we have your fellow, Chris Tarrant, Brenton Sanderson, Lee Colbert, Chris Johnson. And that is a massive array, but you're only as good as the panel members around you, Edward, as you would understand.
It's not what you said when your contract came up. You said you've been carrying those dullards all through your career.
It's funny, that's what you said about Tuesday.
Funny, well, there you go. Chris Tarrant's 100th game, of course, that's why he's on the panel. Brisbane Lions and Hawthorn's going to be a cracker on Sunday. Dermot Brereton will be the man up on the spot if he doesn't barrack for the Hawks all day. But the Brisbane Lions coming off a loss and the biggest road trip in football. The Hawks, of course, have got a real chance here, and with Hank Bolger playing so well at the moment, things are going good for the Hawks. The Kangaroos and Melbourne from the MCG is going to be a beauty. That's you and I, Gary. Yes. And from Telstra Dome in Adelaide at 1:30 p.m. with full highlights with Tony Jones later on, it's the Western Bulldogs and Port Adelaide from Telstra Dome. We hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed our attempt at humour, because it's the only way you can get a smile out of the Essendon supporters tonight. It's been a disappointing night for the Bombers. They went down by 41 points. It's all smiles for the Crows, but they might have to do a little bit of work on the woodwork here at Amy Stadium. Square posts don't go into a round hole.
No, and Adelaide were very, very good tonight.
They certainly were. This is Friday Night Football, AFL on 9.
Nine's Wide World of Sports. AFL Premiership 2003, proudly brought to you by Carlton, brewed since 1864, and our telecast sponsors, Primus Telecom, delivering the real value of communication. Mitre 10's 10 out of 10 DIY deals to the rescue. Sky City Adelaide, the place to see footy on the big screen. Amy, lucky you're with Amy. Radio Rentals, South Australia's biggest electrical retailer. And Carlton Draft, draft beer at its best.
Wednesday, we pay tribute to the man they call Mr. Football. The stars of yesteryear lock horns alongside Russell Gilbert, Shane Warner, umpire Sam Newman.
The Don Small Goods E.J. Whitten Legends game, 8:30 Wednesday on 9.
Monday, direct from the hit series The Block, it's Amity Dry in her first television performance. Plus Tony Martin, Mick Malloy and Judith Lucy. When it's too hot to handle, you know it's McCallum tonight, 9:30 Monday on 9. This program brought to you by Matchbox 20 More Than You Think You Are album and tour on sale now.
From National 9 News, this is Nightline with Hugh Remington.
5 arrested after Sydney businessman is kidnapped for ransom. Teenage pop star Delta Goodrem diagnosed with cancer. And Australia's cricketing greats gather to honour the baggy green. Good evening. Also in the news tonight, all tonight's football action in the AFL and in rugby league. But first, police in Sydney claim tonight to have foiled the kidnapping of a prominent businessman. A few hours ago, police raided a property in suburban Hurstville, arresting 5 men. The allegedly abducted businessman was freed. It's alleged a $600,000 ransom demand had been made. Nina Stevens is outside the unit in Hurstville. Nina, how did that raid unfold tonight?
Hugh, an extraordinary set of circumstances here tonight. Details are still sketchy, but here's what I can reveal. The 55-year-old businessman was locking up his restaurant in Sydney's Chinatown early on Wednesday morning when he was accosted by an unknown number of people carrying a knife, and he was taken hostage. Now, something like 65 hours later, after a police operation involving more than 100 police, he's finally been released. Now, here's what Assistant Commissioner Graham Morgan had to say about these dramatic events.
The demand was for a very large sum of money, which in the course of the investigation was paid under controlled circumstances, unknown to the offenders, and as a result of what I think is outstanding police work, the money has been recovered, the offenders have been apprehended, the victim has been recovered largely well, and I think this serves as a resounding message to anyone that would engage in this sort of activities that they are destined to fail.
And that's Assistant Commissioner Graham Morgan, Hugh.
OK, Nina, what do we know? What can you say about the victim of this apparent kidnapping?
At this stage, police are not releasing his name, but I can tell you that his business partner is married to a former New South Wales politician. He's well known and he's very wealthy.
What do we know about his condition tonight?
I understand, well, Hugh, that he was bound through most of his ordeal. In fact, he may have even been blindfolded. I hear that he's distraught, but he's certainly happy to be free now, and he is suffering from superficial injuries. He's been taken to hospital to be given the once-over, but I understand his injuries are just superficial. I think there's something like a cut to his forehead, and he's got a black eye.
Well, kidnappings for ransom are rare in Australia. Evidently, an attempt was made this time to actually pay the ransom. What can you tell us about that?
Yes, there was an attempt, Hugh, and police are saying that certainly failed. What I can tell you is that the money, which was believed to be around the $500,000 mark, was apparently handed over to these alleged kidnappers, and shortly after, the man who was being held hostage was then released back. Now, soon after that, he was actually dropped off at a shopping plaza in Rockdale, which is one of Sydney's suburban suburbs. Now, not long after that, police were at this unit block in Hurstville, which is just behind me here, and this is where they arrested the 5 people. 4 of them are men, 1 of them's a woman, and they're all Chinese nationals here on a student visa, and they'll be facing court tomorrow, Hugh.
OK, Nina Stevens, thank you. Australia's newest and brightest singing star, 18-year-old Delta Goodrem, is tonight in a Sydney hospital fighting cancer. The recent Logie winner, who has singles and albums at the top of the British and Australian charts, has assured her fans in a statement that she will be fine.
Just 18 years of age, the Logie award-winning singer and actor has been struck down with a form of cancer known as Hodgkin's disease. The shocking diagnosis was made in the last few days, the Neighbours cast member undergoing treatment in a Sydney hospital. News of the young star's life-threatening battle has rocked the show business world. Close family friend Molly Meldrum says he's shattered.
On Monday, she went to a specialist to see about this lump down here somewhere, and then, you know, this is what's happened.
In a written statement, Goodrem says, "I want to assure all my fans that I'll be fine, knowing that I have your love is making a huge difference." Manager Glenn Weekly was on holiday in Honolulu when he received the news and is en route home to support his young charge. Devastated fans immediately began flooding her website with messages of support. The Melbourne-born Goodrem was signed to a record deal when she was just 15. Her debut album, Innocent Eyes, currently #1 in the charts. Her acting career leading to a Logie for most popular new female talent.
It can happen, dreams really can come true.
Already popular in the UK, Goodrem was planning to try her luck in the United States before her health crisis. Doctors treating her say while testing continues, early detection has made the outlook positive.
She won't have to try to get over this because she will get over it.
Sally Pickering for Nightline.
It's a club that everyone who's ever had a backyard has dreamed of joining, the ranks of Australia's Test cricketers. Tonight, most of that band gathered in Sydney to celebrate the legend of the baggy green cap.
Most of Australia's 197 surviving cricketers were at tonight's dinner. Those of yesteryear mixed freely with today's superstars. In an age of high profiles and egos, the oldest stole the show with modesty.
I was the most boring cricketer that Australia ever had.
With many Australian cricket caps lost or auctioned off over the years, the goal of tonight's ceremony was to give every living cricketer a baggy green. And who better to present them than the game's greatest tragic?
To the greatest game that man has ever devised.
Some names were virtual unknowns, others evoked memories. Since 1877, when Charles Bannerman received the first baggy green, 385 Test players have been bestowed that ultimate honour. Last year, Martin Love became the most recent. In between, a roll call about cricketing greats, including the greatest of all, and the current captain, whose battle-scarred and beer-stained cap remains his most prized possession.
It's had a few minor alterations, but that's what I love about it. It's got memories in it.
This month saw one of Don Bradman's baggy greens sell for $425,000.
Got any of his line in the backyard?
No, I haven't.
At 91, Bill Brown is our oldest surviving Test cricketer and has seen the cap grow in value and stature.
Quite frankly, you'd see them lying on the dressing room floor, you know, way back in the good old days.
With cricketers from 7 decades here tonight, like the wine, tall tales and yarns have started flowing. And like an epic Bradman innings, they're bound to continue well into the night. Andrew McKinlay for Nightline.
To other news now, and 3 Australian spy agencies have now conceded they knew a key claim used to justify the war in Iraq was based on dodgy information. The Prime Minister says he still has enormous confidence in Australia's intelligence community, but as Laurie Wilson reports, his political opponents are smelling a rat.
It was a key claim by the Prime Minister in the battle to win over public opinion for a war against Iraq, that Saddam Hussein had tried to buy uranium to build nuclear weapons. Not only was it not true, now it's emerged that 3 of the country's intelligence agencies knew that might be the case, but none of them chose to tell the government.
It's either unbelievable incompetence or it's a culture that has now developed with this government where awkward information is deliberately kept away from senior ministers.
First it was ONA, the Prime Minister's own intelligence assessment group, then ACIS, the Department of Foreign Affairs overseas spy agency, and now the top-secret Defence Intelligence Organisation, the DIO. It's been confirmed they all knew of US State Department doubts about the claims, but not one of them apparently considered it necessary to pass that on.
Well, do you agree an error has been made here?
Oh, well, obviously it would have been better if this had been brought to my attention.
Mr Howard insists he retains complete confidence in Australia's intelligence community, but the opposition says it's not our spies, but the Prime Minister himself who must come under question.
What we have now is a pattern of behaviour on the part of the Howard government and John Howard, a pattern of behaviour which is very fast and loose with the truth on fundamental matters of national security.
There has been no intention on my part to deceive or mislead the Australian people, none whatsoever.
The Prime Minister claims the issue has been blown out of all proportion. His opponents clearly disagree.
It's simply not good enough for the Prime Minister to say that this is an old issue, we've moved on and it doesn't matter.
Laurie Wilson reporting for Nightline.
In what's believed to be a first in Australian history, 4 people have appeared in a Melbourne court charged with slavery. It relates to the alleged use of Thai women at a Melbourne brothel.
44-year-old Paul Pick has been accused of keeping a sex slave.
Come on, get out of my way. What is this?
He fronted court today with 40-year-old Wei Tang, her husband 49-year-old John Davies and 36-year-old Domporn Tremonthan, who police allege lured 6 Thai nationals to work in this Fitzroy brothel as sex slaves.
I think any reasonable person would find it abhorrent, and I certainly did.
The Australian Federal Police arrested the group separately in overnight raids on the brothel allegedly owned by Ms Tang and Mr Davis, and private homes including this one in North Balwyn and another in Fitzroy.
It's broken new ground in that, yes, it's a first in that we've been able to lay these charges.
This afternoon, Ms Tremonthan, an unlawful citizen, was remanded in custody, while the others were freed on bail, which the Australian Federal Police did not oppose.
The Australian Federal Police are looking at the issue more generally. This is just one of a number of investigations we've got underway.
The federal government says the arrests send a strong message.
If you engage in sex trafficking, you will be caught, and if you're caught, you'll be facing very serious penalties. I don't think anyone realises the extent of this trade in Australia, and that's why we have the Australian Crime Commission looking at it.
The group will reappear in court in September. Rachel Hodder for Nightline.
In a world of increasing lawsuits, a dangerous side effect. It's claimed some police are no longer willing to arrest suspects for fear of being sued. In recent years, civil claims against police in New South Wales alone have quadrupled to almost $100 million, with officers complaining they are now target practice for lawyers.
Police risk injury, even death in the line of duty, but they're not prepared to lose their homes.
What we are extremely concerned about is that police officers are being individually named and will lose their own personal assets in a civil action.
42 officers have had to apply for Crown representation in the last 12 months, and the Police Association says other officers are shying away from arrests to make sure they're not next. In one case, 16 officers are facing action after an incident 8 years ago.
We're going to sue the police, mate. We're going to sue the policeman to the police station.
Stress is part of the job description, but the Police Association argues its members shouldn't be expected to cope with the added stresses of civil lawsuits.
They take forever to deal with, and what happens is it has a very sad effect on the member, their workmates, but more importantly, their families.
Police want all lawsuits to be directed to the Commissioner. The Police Minister says he'll consider the suggestion.
If this is causing even one police officer to think twice, I'll put in place any responsible measures advised by the Police Association to prevent this.
Layla McKinnon reporting for Nightline.
A man who's been in jail for 5 years after a violent home invasion has been refused bail despite having his conviction overturned. Neil Houston was jailed in 1998 over a break-in and sexual assault in the New South Wales coastal town of Coffs Harbour. Last month, the Court of Criminal Appeal overturned his convictions and ordered a retrial, but he remains locked up.
What does my family have to do to get justice? I mean, it's all wrong.
Police who did the original investigation were members of Major Crime Squad North, denounced by the Police Integrity Commission as people likely to commit perjury in criminal trials. Houston is back in maximum security until his next bail application in 2 weeks. The life of Aussie rules legend Bob Rose was celebrated today in Melbourne. The Collingwood great's on-field exploits were remembered as fondly as his nobility off the field.
Bob Rose would have loved the turnout. From the cream of football's fraternity to the man and child on the street, it was clear he had touched a lot of lives. But this was much more than a service to remember Bob Rose, the footballer. While his playing exploits, including 4 Copeland trophies, were recalled by brother Kevin.
Imagine the toughness of a Des Tuddenham or Scotty Burns, mixed with the brilliance and skill of a Wayne Richardson or Nathan Buckley. Then you have a pretty close picture of Bobby Rose.
It was in his role as husband and father that Bob Rose also showed champion qualities. In particular, the manner in which he cared for his late son Robert, who was left a quadriplegic after a car accident in 1974.
To see Bob and Elsie proudly wheel Robert into the President's room and get him a beer after a game at Victoria Park was as inspiring as anything ever seen on the ground.
But it was Bob's other son, Peter, who perhaps said it all.
Play brave, play tough, play like Bobby. Let's all remember those words, shall we? They're not a bad epitaph for the life of Bob Rose.
Matt Dowling for Nightline.
And ahead on Nightline, honours at last for the Australian airman who disappeared over Germany. And the uncovering of a lost masterpiece.
The diet story you'd be mad to miss.
My breasts were this big.
Grilling the world's top diet gurus. And little Tom Tennant. Just look at him now.
I think I look pretty cute.
60 Minutes, Sunday.
Gazman's winter sale is now on. Casual jackets from $59, knitwear from just $49, shirts from $39, and long-sleeve tees from $29. Smart clothes, smart prices. Gazman.
LG Home Theatre. Surround sound that'll blow you away. LG, life's good.
Oh, God, she's coming.
More intelligent. More powerful. More dangerous.
She's a far more effective killing machine.
You must find a way to destroy her. Anything he can do.
Unlikely. I'm an obsolete design.
She can do better. Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines. At cinemas July 17.
For 80 years, South Australian families have been able to rely on the professionalism of Alfred James Funeral Homes. These days, there's a lot of discussion about the cost and affordability of funerals. At Alfred James, we're pledged to offer a wide price range to help all families. We'll provide a funeral to suit your particular circumstances and are only too pleased to discuss means of meeting costs. This booklet explains the many ways in which we can help you, both now and when the need arises. Phone 8272 1980 for your free copy. Alfred James Funeral Homes, celebrating 80 South Australian years.
This is Nightline. Prominent Sydney business identity Rodney Adler has become the first former HIH director to be committed to stand trial in connection with Australia's worst ever corporate collapse. If found guilty, Adler faces up to 25 years in jail on charges of manipulating the stock market.
Rodney Adler didn't have much success pleading his case inside the court. Outside, a heckler wasn't helping.
RodneyAdler.com, RodneyAdler.com. Excuse me, I can't even hear the question.
The decision to send Mr. Adler to trial, something he says came as no surprise.
Of course we're not happy, but we expected it.
The Securities Commission, ASIC, accuses Mr. Adler of using millions of dollars from HIH coffers to buy shares in the ailing company and push up the price. It's alleged he also falsely told a newspaper he was using his own money. Mr. Adler maintains the shares were bought because they were undervalued and presented an opportunity to make a profit. He told a lawyer brought in by HIH to investigate the deal, "I never contemplated market rigging."
I believe that I'm innocent.
It caps off a bad week for Mr. Adler, who also failed to overturn a 20-year ban from acting as a company director. Now he'll be busy preparing for his upcoming criminal trial, likely to be played out in the Supreme Court next year.
I believe that ASIC have the right to regulate, and unfortunately they're taking a very hard line with me, but that's their job and I will defend it to the best of my ability.
Nina Stevens reporting for Nightline.
And on the markets today, the share market closed steady despite heavy falls by blue chip stocks on Wall Street. The All Ordinaries was up 0.1. The major banks gained ground, with Westpac the best performer, up 36 cents. Among those closing weaker were resource and media stocks. AMP finished 2 cents down on the final day of the share pricing period for investors who took part in the company's capital raising scheme. Overseas, Tokyo closed down 320. London is trading 24 points higher. Gold is fetching $344.40 US an ounce. The Aussie dollar tonight is stronger against the greenback, buying 65.83 US cents. It's also up against the euro and the yen, but it's down against the pound. Last week, rail commuters in Sydney were agog at photographs published in a daily newspaper, apparently showing train drivers reading or lolling about while they were supposed to be responsible for the lives of hundreds of passengers. Today, the news that none of those drivers will face action, with rail authorities saying the photos were misleading.
They say a picture paints 1,000 words. Not so, according to State Rail.
There were no breaches of safe driving practice by any train driver involved in these photographs.
Fighting fire with fire, State Rail hit back with its own photograph collection. These shots suggest drivers couldn't see because the blinds were drawn, but this was the view from inside the cabin. The same also applies to this photo, a driver seemingly with his leg on the dashboard, and officials insist no one was reading while the trains were in motion. While there was no evidence drivers had acted dangerously, State Rail is acutely aware of the impact of bad publicity, so it's ordered staff to keep unofficial reading material out of sight so it doesn't create the perception that drivers don't have their eye on the job. John Clare has spent 41 years on the railways and insists the importance of safety is never underestimated.
We've got a lot of lives that we deal with over a day, over a week, so safety is very critical to us.
Christine Spiteri for Nightline.
Even now, the fields and forests of Europe conceal the lost victims of 2 world wars. A recent discovery of a crashed bomber and the remains of its crew has uncovered the fate of 4 Australian airmen lost in a bombing raid over Germany nearly 60 years ago. Today, a group of their relatives left Australia to honour the airmen at a full military funeral.
For these people, it's a journey into certainty. After almost 60 years, they've finally learnt what happened to the young men who crossed the world to go into battle and simply disappeared.
We do know where his final resting place is, and that he's no longer missing in action.
January 1944, returning from a raid on Berlin. On board Lancaster 867, Australians Ivan Durston, Robert Ludlow, Jack Sutherland and Philip Gill. No one knows how it happened. Ground fire or shot down by a Luftwaffe night fighter, the plane never returned to its base in England, and there was no trace until 1997, when locals found the wreckage deep inside a forest in what had been East Germany. There, too, were the remains of the crew.
It's just an amazing story how it can be lost for so long and then been found.
Years of painstaking forensic investigation followed. Finally, using DNA and dental records, the 4 Australians were positively identified. And that was especially important for Clara Ollett, the sister of pilot officer Robert Ludlow.
I wear a cross, but they sent me. It's never off my body. He sent that to me before he was killed.
Claire is flying to Germany to the military service in Berlin on Tuesday, where, after so many years, her brother and his mates will finally be given the honours so long overdue. Peter Harvey for Nightline.
A Rembrandt self-portrait hidden for hundreds of years under layers of overpaint has been snapped up at a London auction. This is how the painting, titled Self-Portrait with Shaded Eyes, looks now. Here is how it looked before restoration. One of the maestro's students thought he could make a few improvements, and for more than 300 years, that's how it remained.
Last chance, 6,200,000 at £6,200,000. George's bid. Sold. 6,200,000.
That's 15.4 million Australian dollars, but the American casino tycoon who bought it still got a bargain. In perfect condition, the Rembrandt would have been worth $50 million. A safari jaunt in Botswana has brought President Bush and his wife Laura face to face with Africa in the raw. The laws of nature fully evident when the party encountered 2 elephants. The president appeared a touch awkward in the presence of such wild romance. We'll have sports news after the break. Another big charge by the Australians in the Tour de France. And Choisir heading home after a champion effort in England.
South Charter bypasses congested terminals and flies you straight to your destination, giving you many more hours there for business. For the full time-saving story, call Air South Charter now. We're in the yellow pages.
This is the day of reckoning.
The end of the world is today.
Out of the ashes, they will rise.
Bugger!
The unbreakable Toyota Hilux. The ultimate machine.
It takes hundreds of fresh vegetable growers and only 18 hours to cook the most delicious steak meal in the country. But you won't have to wait that long. Hogsbreath prime rib. You hungry?
The party's on. It's Direct Rock Apple, its first birthday, and to celebrate, we're giving a further 10% off our existing best price guarantee. Rock bottom prices on everything in store. To say thank you, Adelaide, celebrate with us this Saturday and Sunday only. 103 Sir Donald Bradman Drive, Hilton, and Main North Road, Parafield Airport.
Odin Electrical delivers on Westinghouse.
Westinghouse refrigerators deliver fan-forced, frost-free electronic controls and fast cool zone. And Keith Bowden delivers Westinghouse to you when you want it, free of charge. But best of all, we always deliver on price.
You keep coming back. Keep coming back.
You can charter your own aircraft from $1.70 per kilometre, which is not much more than catching a taxi. For the full money-saving story, call Air South Charter now. We're in the yellow pages.
To sport now on Nightline, and interstate rivalries in the Rugby League tonight, even ahead of State of Origin 3. The Broncos were at home to the Bulldogs to kick off round 18, with both sides short of their Origin stars, and Brisbane needing the win to stay at the top of the table.
Brisbane had 10 regulars missing and fielded 3 new faces. The Bulldogs had 4 on Origin duty. Brett Seymour's foot injury, an early setback for Brisbane, who locked out the Bulldogs 24-0 in May. The visitors now wanted revenge, and Brent Sherwin's grubber kick set up Luke Patton's 3rd try of the season. As Carl Webb proved a handful, this man, Matt Utai, lost the ball in the 2-man tackle, and Ben Harris set off down the sideline. Somehow, the referee had called hell.
He's now saying that he called hell and then lost the football. Well, no, that's rubbish. Because
Sherwin then doubled the lead, kicking between a prop and a post.
He'll score! Oh, that is brilliant!
Tony Grimaldi broke through the Broncos, setting up an 18-0 lead.
There's his second try.
Just before the break, the Bulldogs boxed the Broncos into the corner, and Ben Harris increased the margin to 22-0.
4 tries in 2 games.
Webb worked hard in the trenches to set up Bronco raids. The breakthrough coming when Andrew G and Scott Prince found Casey Maguire charging on a different angle.
He'll make it.
Brisbane's rush to push the pass worked in the Bulldogs' favour, and Nigel Vunganar profited.
To the line. They won't stop the Kiwi International. Vunganar scores.
Roy Asatasi laid it on a platter for Patton, who took his time to find the handle.
Juggling it for a couple of strides before putting it down.
Sherwin then set up Glenn Hall's try. 40-4, a record Bulldogs win over Brisbane. Charles Christian for Nightline.
To AFL now, where the Bombers have travelled to South Australia to take on Adelaide. With a victory, the Crows would stay in the top 4. For Essendon, victory was a must to keep any premiership hopes alive.
Essendon arrived at Amy Stadium minus Jason Johnson, and while it was clear that tough conditions would play a part, a pre-bounce deluge made it difficult, but Adelaide adapted well.
He's going to go hard at it, straight out of the centre.
At times, it was unorthodox for Essendon. As the Crows kept coming, Burns was brilliant. Then Matthew Clark took a chance. Adelaide away by 18 points at quarter time.
Clark does it beautifully. Good down the ruck and kick the goal.
Free kicks kept Essendon in the contest, but only just. Then when Scott Welsh kicked a couple in a hurry, it looked bad for the Bombers.
There's a spinning shot at the goal. This time the umpire likes it.
Welsh finished the second quarter with 3. His game tally 4. Adelaide away by more than 5.
For the Crows, and he does that.
At half-time, James Hurd's knee hurt, and despite Ted Richards' second goal, Essendon still trailed badly. Then Wayne Carey crashed into a post, stretched it off. Adelaide was robbed of one of its main forward options, and the Bombers took advantage.
I think he's got the goal. He has.
Whatever hopes they had, though, were quashed when Mark Rasciuto backed himself from long range. And when Rhett Biglands had a crack, it brought the Bombers' night closer to a close.
Biglands kicks his second, and it's party time for the Crows at Amy Stadium.
Then Ronnie Burns got clever. After a tunnel ball to Welsh, it was all over for Essendon.
Tunneled it. Welsh turns around.
Jamie Aldridge for Nightline.
Australia's Baden Cook is continuing his good form in the Tour de France, coming 3rd in a thrilling finish to stage 5. Victory went to Italy's Alessandro Petacchi. He sealed his 3rd stage.